Shalom.
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 Welcome to the Hanukkah 2019. Hallelujah. So, Salakia, after a few bumps and bruises, we're getting it together. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Shai. The natives are rolling in, and we're going to get everything together. I do apologize. This room is supposed to look much different. Time when you try to support your own, there's certain things you got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? You try to keep the money in the community, but you don't always do business like you should. But we're going to make it do what it do, okay? Yeah. All right, so all praise to Yahweh Shai, Ashar Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah 2019. Giving all thanks, praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, the Mashiach Yahweh Shai, forever and ever, amen. So we're going to give y'all a nice lesson. Just go over the brief history of what this day and night is all about, what this feast is all about, to show you according to the scriptures that, we did fight against our enemy. And there was nothing wrong with that, right? When the Most High Yahweh Shai, somebody help the brother put the food down. The Most High Yahweh Shai was with us. We were the most deadliest warriors on the planet. God. In righteousness. All right. Not like we out here doing now, killing each other over nothing. All right. And it's coming to that time. Y'all paying attention to what's going on in the news. We getting into some serious times. And it's so beautiful the way the timeline that things happen, and we celebrate the Feast of Dedication, which the Maccabees had to fight against the Greeks. So now Esau, they coming for our head. If y'all been paying attention to what's going on. It's about to get real. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have no filter. They say, you Israelites. They don't care what camp, they don't care what, they said the movement, we coming for y'all. And I got more inside, deeper information. It's more serious than what the media is showing. Just put it like that. We're talking about feds, homeland security, and all that. But we don't give a damn. We going toe to toe with it. Okay? There's no fear. We came too far now. Right? We don't give a damn if y'all knock on our doors, question us. So what? Bring it on. You know what I'm saying? So certain things I won't go into. We'll keep that private. But I'm in touch with the brothers in New York, and it's getting serious. Okay? And Esau know their kingdom is falling, so they're gonna come against these truth. And like I said, we got all these camps, and they don't care about none of that. It's the Israelite movement. They showed them in every camp in a negative light in the media. You know what I'm saying? Brothers got all kinds of messages. They don't care. We coming for y'all because y'all dealing with that truth. Okay? So it's a serious time, brothers and sisters. And no matter where we go from here, remember we're a nation. And they look at us as all as the enemy. Okay? So it's some serious times in the way the Most High line is feast of dedication up. So, let's get ready for the long haul. Because your faith will be tested. All right? And they don't care if you don't go to camp that much. They know you Israel. They watching you. They got social media, all that. You could be an internet keyboardite. They watching you. They know you Israel. So you can't hide, Whether you out there in the camps, on the front line, whatever. Some of us brothers that's out there on a certain level, we get more backlash than others. A lot of this negative stuff is coming at us because of the MAGA incident. If any of y'all remember that last year with Chief Ephraim and the brothers back east. So it's just a whole heap. It's all kinds of stuff going on in the East Coast, man. You have no idea, but nobody's running to hide. Okay? Right, come on, you can knock on my door. Let's talk, East, so I ain't got nothing to hide. Matter of fact, I got some things I want to say to y'all. Good? All right, so we're going to open up in prayer. Imagine upon your Yerushalayim. Stand and face Jerusalem. Open in prayer for the Feast of Hanukkah. Somebody give me one of them camouflage, one or two of those camouflage plates. So we burn these glory.
Hallelujah.
All right, repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that gives us the law. Barakatah Yahweh. Ahawa'ah. Atamanawa. Atawara. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that gives us the light to see. Barakatah Yahweh. Ahawa'ah. Atamanawa. Ha'awah. Lara'ah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that gives us the ram's horn to call the people. Barakatah Yahweh. Ahawa'ah. Atamanawa. Akwaran. Washawapa, Wakwara, Ha'ain, Bahashim,
Mashiach, Yahawashah, Walada, Ya, Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Mommy, you need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, go around.
Bring the offering, repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that gives us the fruit of the vine. Barakatah Yahweh, Ahawa'ah, Tananawa, Hapaya, Agapan, Hashem, Mashiach, Yahawashah, Walada,
Alam.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Lord's Prayer in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. Abanawa,
Anawa, Ashamayam, Adash, Adam, Shaka, Yahweh, Wakfa, Ela, Watazaka, Ela, Asha, Arataza, Abba, Aya, Ashabayam, Awadawa, Ko, Masaka, Rakyafia, Kazaka, Yafia, Ayam, Asayam, Alabum, Ashayam, Mam, Wa, Kaya, Ada, Alakwa, Alawa, Abarara, Ayayam, Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Blessings of Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh. Hashem. Mashiach. Mashiach. Shema. Noah. Shalak. Ahayim. La. Shalayim. Ra. Good. Kazak. Awak. Ashala. Wa. Shalak. Ayam. Shalak. Alako. Shakijala. Abu Bashar. Hashem. Mashiach. Yahawashah. Awad. Ya. Alam. Aman.
Blessed O Most High Yahweh, Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. Please send the kingdom to the nation of Israel. Please bless us, uplift us, watch over us, protect us, heal us, give us your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Preserve us, Lord, in these last days until your kingdom come. Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. Curses on our enemies, Yahweh.
Hashem. Mashiach.
Yahawashah. Shema. Noah. Shalak.
Ahayim. La. Shalak. Ayam. Ara. Ayaya. Anash. Ayaya. Abba. Ayayim. Abba. Ko. Ayaya. Yashala. Abba Kusha. Hashem. Mashiach. Yahawashah. Tawada. Ya. Alam. Amen.
Blessed O Most High Yahweh, Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. Lord, we ask you to destroy all of our enemies that come up against us, Most High. We know we live in serious times. We know the enemy is trying to approach us and come at us. But Lord, we ask you to come against all those that wish Israel any harm. Protect us, bring us together. Let us have each other back as we go through these troubled times and the trials and tribulations and the trying of the gold and the fire to make it to your kingdom. Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Shema.
Shema.
Yashalala.
Mashallah.
Yahuwah.
Yahweh.
Elohayna.
Ayahaya.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Acha.
Yashala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Elohayno,
Ayahayam,
Yahweh,
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 Yah,
Shema,
Shema,
Yasharala,
Yashawala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Elohayno,
Ayahayam,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power, Yahweh is one. Deuteronomy 6, verse 4. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Blessing of the Hanukkah, Yahweh.
Yahweh, Bashem,
Mashiach.
Mashiach, Yahawashah,
Baba Kushah.
Baba Kashah,
Barak.
Barak,
Nawa.
Dawa,
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah,
Baba Kushah.
Baba Kashah,
Bahashem.
Bashem,
Mashiach.
Mashiach,
Yahawashah.
Yahawashah,
Wada.
Yah,
Avalom.
Alam, Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
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 Shaka, be seated. Hallelujah. All praise to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Shalom. 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 We give all praise, thanks, honor, and glory to the Most High by Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. We're going to go over the Maccabees and a few other scripts, whatever else that the Spirit brings out, to give you a basic understanding of the history and overview of the Feast of Hanukkah. So the brothers want to start off with a few scripts, and we're going to continue the spirit.
All right, so it's a beautiful thing to come back to our nationality, and come back to our laws and our feast days. Because at this time, everybody is, what are they doing? They celebrate Christmas, all the things like that. But we come in and serve the Most High in spirit and in truth, which is Hanukkah, or Feast of Dedication. All right, so give Baruch the second chapter. We just start off with this real quick. 28. So yeah, everybody give Baruch in the Apocrypha, chapter 2.
Everybody happy to say con?
Yeah, second chapter, 28 verse. I'm a little under the weather, so yeah, y'all give me.
Give to me the car, okay?
Everybody said, when you're happy, say con. The book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 28. As thou speakest by the servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, if he will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
So, and that's what has happened. The land of our captivities, we shall remember ourselves. So, these people, they say we're anti-Semitic, going into like the Jersey City situation. And just recently, today, there was it was on the news that they're trying to say that we put a sign that said Yahushua is coming, and they trying to equate that with us. It was by what it was a kosher spot. I believe it was a kosher spot, basically fake Jews, Amalek. So they was trying to say that we're trying to attack them, just like the whole Jersey City situation. But they're trying to say we're anti-Semitic when we're Semitic people. Like, the Bible dictionary says not the Negroes. Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
Bring it out.
But it said we remember ourselves in our captivity. So that never happened to the fake Jews. They always claimed that they knew they were Jews, but they never been in captivity. They the ones that was financing the ships and everything like that. So how can they be the Jews at the same time, or the real people of the curses and everything like that? Had those people in slavery, you know?
Bring it out.
So yeah, it says we will remember ourselves. Go ahead.
Verse 31, and shall know that I am the Lord their God, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds.
So we would return from our wicked deeds. So during Christmas, before we came into truth, we was doing all these wicked holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving just passed, New Year's, celebrating the New Year's, all of that was wicked deeds that we once were doing. Go ahead.
Verse 33, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord.
So we would read that part one more time.
For they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord.
So we're going to remember the ways of our fathers. Okay, so coming back to the feast days, that's the ways of our forefathers. Hold that real quick and get Sirach 24 and 23. Because the way this is a culture, this is our culture. This is not religion. Everybody Sirach 24, 23, or 22. Because this is our culture. We coming back to the ways of our forefathers. It's not a religion, So let's see what the scriptures say about the law, what it is for us.
The book of Sirach, chapter 24, verse 23. When everybody have it, say, "Come." All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage.
For what?
For a heritage unto the congregations of Jacob.
Okay, so it's a heritage. So coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments is a heritage. Okay, we never had, as being black, African American, that we don't really have a culture in that sense. Even though we made, a lot of stuff as being so-called African Americans, but as far as can we trace that back to any type of culture, being black, you know what I'm saying? So we would come back in the land of our captivity and come back to the ways of our forefathers, which is a heritage. So go back to the root. So Baruch, read 33 again. 2:33.
The book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 33. Everybody have it, say, "Come." And return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord.
Go ahead.
And I will bring them again the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall be not diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them.
Okay, so just showing you that that's talking about these times now, because it says that the Most High is not going to drive us out of the land anymore. It says he's going to make an everlasting covenant. Alright, so go to Maccabees, the first chapter. So just going over a few things in Maccabees. I know that the priest is gonna bring out a lot of stuff. I just wanted to get started a little bit. First chapter.
Yeah, first Maccabees.
Yeah, first Maccabees, first chapter. Yeah,
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. Everybody have it, say con? And it happened after Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. And made
So Alexander. So the Bible is a historical book. Okay? Everybody said that the Bible is written by a man, but yet, and you learn in school about Alexander and Darius and all these historical figures, but it's right here in the scriptures. So I mean, every book is written by a man, they say, and they try to demonize the scriptures, but I mean, we're reading it right here, you know. So go ahead.
Verse 2, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the king of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries, and nations, and kings, who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die.
That's a lot, because Alexander, he was a heavy homosexual, and all the Greeks and all of that, they was freaks and all of that, basically like the white man is today. You know what I'm saying? Esau carrying on all of that stuff, bestiality, all of that. That's what the Greeks were into. But that's what when you research on Alexander, that's what he was into. Being like sodomite and things like that. But he died. Go ahead.
Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
And those the kings that he parted it with, or his generals, Lacomeus, anybody, Lacomeus, Cassander, what's his name? Seleucus, yeah. And then Ptolemy. All right.
So Alexander reigned 12 years, and then died, and his servants bare rule, every one in his place.
Right, so like Marcus, I was bringing out, when you check out the history on Alexander, he had a brief rulership, 12 years, and then once he died, he parted his kingdom amongst his four main generals. Like the brother named, you can look him up, Ptolemy, Cassander, Lycomachus, and what was the other one? Seleucus, all right? So what's going on here, after Alexander dies, once his four generals take over, you're going to have one general that has mighty aspirations more than others. And he wants to go about and conquer Ptolemy's area and Israel and other parts of the kingdom. Which before Alexander died, he said, I'm parting the kingdom amongst all four y'all. Y'all all going to get y'all four separate areas to rule. But Antiochus Epiphanes was more proud and was trying to go against his own Edomite brothers and eventually conquer Israel so he can rule over them. All right, that's what was going on. All right, read on.
And after his death, they put crowns upon themselves.
Right, they all put crowns upon themselves. Go ahead.
So did the sons after them many years.
Go ahead.
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
And there you go. That's one of the main verses. Main verses and reasons why the so-called white man took the Apocrypha out of the Bible and want to separate it and say it's not canon or whatever the case may be. All right, why? Because it condemns them right there. It tells you evils multiplied in the earth when they came in power. All right, somebody get Proverbs 29 and 12 real quick. Con, Proverbs 29 and 12. Would everybody have it say con? So this is one of the main reasons why they want to separate the Apocrypha. All right, why? Because they want you to believe, oh, we're not the devil. All right, we're not evil. Because we saying that you guys are terrorists and committing shootings in New Jersey. No, we trying to protect the white Jewish people. All right, that's why when that whole situation happened, the next day Trump signed an executive order saying that what? The Jewish people are nationality now. All right, it's all lined up. Everything is going according to prophecy. That's why this Feast of Dedication is so timely, because it shows us historically that they always fought against us when we tried to keep the commandments. That's what this whole story is about. The Greeks coming in and trying to conquer us, and no, we're not going for that. There's a remnant of us that's going to keep the commandments of the Most High. That's what this whole Hanukkah story is about. So now, to bring it up to modern day times, like Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. The same thing today. Who are the Greeks now? Trump and the Edomites of today. They're the same people. So now they want to come against Israel because they want to keep the commandments of the Most High. Okay? Proverbs 29 and 12.
If a ruler hearkens to lies,
The Lord said if a ruler is a liar, go ahead.
all his servants
Go ahead,
are wicked.
So the Lord said right there, for ruler hearken to lies, all the servants are wicked. So it said what? The leaders came in and evils multiplied in the earth. Right? Civilization, they claim civilization started with the Greeks. Yeah, wicked civilization. All right, so that's what was going on here. It was time for the Greeks, the third kingdom that Daniel saw, to come into power, and they were wicked as hell. And it's telling you right there in the history. This is a lot of times why they don't want to. They want to disassociate the Apocrypha from the Bible. You battle Christians, and they say, "Oh, that's not part of the canon." Why? Because it's telling you right here, Esau was evil when he came into power. All right, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, Job 9:24. Read on.
The poor and the deceitful man.
That's it on that. Go back to 1 Maccabees 1. Okay. All right, 16, yeah.
When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases.
So the Lord said, when the wicked are multiplied, transgressions increase. All right, so the more you have wicked rulers, you're going to have more wickedness on the earth. You got more of our people getting killed unjustly. You're going to have more of these, what they call it, sex trafficking, human trafficking. Women just getting snatched off the street. All right, they've been doing that, but now social media is exposing it more. That's what I've been going on. That's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? You go back to the Atlanta child murders. You go back to right out here in California when all them so-called prostitutes was missing back in the 80s. They've been doing that, man. Snatching these young black and Latino men, women, and children. It's not just men. They've been snatching our people for years. But now, you know, everything is coming out more because of social media. Everybody got a camera or cell phone or somebody recording something. But they've been doing that to our people, man. But now the Most High is exposing it, you know, letting you know what's really going on with this society. It's a serious time. Israel be playing, man. We entering some serious times. Esau going into 2020 with a bang. Right? They coming for us. You guys are terrorists. You got feds knocking on brothers' doors and all that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the brothers that strong is like, whatever. You know, because we've been reading this for years. It's like, okay, I'm surprised y'all took this long. You know what I'm saying? But that Esau messed himself up with that social media. Because the social media got the truth out on such a high level. You know what I'm saying? So now you're having debates. I was watching one video where a guy was like, well, everybody coming to the Christian church questioning us now. Questioning the question, they questioning the history of who we are. You right, because they watching the videos. You know what I'm saying? Everybody on social media, everybody got a smartphone. So you go to click on, well, here comes these guys preaching on the corner, what they talking about? All right, because brothers are unique with the titles. So people might be looking for something else, they come an Israelite video. So they like, Pastor, what are these guys talking about? We the real Jews. And they proving it out of the Bible. You never read this in Sunday school. That's right. See that? So this truth is going out. All praise to the Most High. You gotta understand something, man. The hell that you catch every day is not compared to about what's about to come down. The Most High going to try us for His word's sake. Okay? So, you know, everybody stay strong, stay in the long hold. Don't get worried. None of that, because as we're going to read tonight in the Maccabees, the Most High defend those that keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, and our forefathers, they fought to the death. They fought to the death. They said they didn't even care about their children, their land, their possessions. Everything was about serving the Most High. So we all going to be tested with that spirit. Not that you shouldn't love your family, your loved ones, your fellow brothers and sisters, but the Most High, like he tested Abraham. Are you willing to sacrifice your only son? Do you love me that much? So we all going to be tested in these last days. Everybody walk around with fringes, shalom, go get shalom. Most High going to put us to the test. Okay? All right, Israel, when the truth is cute, everybody want to be part of it. But when now the truth about to get ugly, so we're going to stick around when they get ugly. Okay? So we got to endure it to the end. Okay? All right, read on.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 10.
Hold on, he got more than that in Proverbs. Go ahead.
But the righteous shall see their fall.
But the righteous, we want to see the wicked's fall. Okay? All right, just like our brothers, the Maccabees, they were the underdog. It said most of the Israelites, they went along with the Greeks. A lot of our people sold out back then. And a lot of them probably did it, not even because there was so much evil, but they going where the power's at, just like now. Israel go where the power's at. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are just inherently evil and sellouts, but a lot of our people like, oh, what you going to do? Right? You know, there's nothing we can do, so we might as well just go along with it. So you had that spirit back then also. Read on.
The real 300.
Yeah, the real 300, right? Good. That was it on that. So go back to 1 Maccabees 1.
Go. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 10. Everybody have it, say, Con?
Good.
And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes.
All right, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes. Now, if the scripture said that evils multiplied in the earth when the Greeks came in power, now it's saying a wicked root came out of that evil. So more evil came from the evil that was there already. They already said that evils multiplied in the earth. Now it's calling Antiochus Epiphanes. It said a wicked root came out of that evil. Right? So Esau had levels to his demonology. It said Antiochus Epiphanes, he was more evil. He was a wicked root coming out of that evil. All right, go ahead.
Son of Antiochus, the king, who had...
And he named himself Epiphanes, which means God manifest. Because a lot of these Edomite rulers and these different rulers, they fashion themselves as gods on the earth. All right, like a person has an epiphany, a manifestation from God. He named himself Epiphanes, Antiochus Epiphanes, meaning God manifest. He said that he was a God manifest in the flesh. That's Esau's mind frame. All right, that's why Paul told us the God of this world have blinded the eyes of the simple. All right, I'm paraphrasing, something like that in Corinthians. Why? Because Satan is the God of this world, but his physical counterpart is Esau. They're the gods of this world. That's why people look up to them like that. That's why people are scared of them. All right, so we have to understand there's no power but the Most High. But man will set himself up as a power all the time. All right, go ahead.
Antiochus, king, who had been a hostage at Rome.
Go ahead.
And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of Greece.
Come on.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathens.
See that? So it said it went wicked men out of Israel and said, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. Like what we would call a sellout now. Or a traitor, or, you know, a coon. Right? Like, what's the woman that was trying to run for president? She got shut up, Kamala Harris. Right? She was black one minute. She eat chicken wings and listen to Cardi B.
Now she Indian.
But now she back Indian and back her zaddy, a white man. All right, because her presidential run didn't go nowhere. Right? So now she's East Indian again now, and she's with her white zaddy. All before she was Cardi B and chicken wings. And I love cookouts, right? You see how they stereotype us? Right? Negroes love cookouts, chicken wings, and Cardi B. Right? So you all black now. We're supposed to vote for you because you like chicken wings and Cardi B. We'll show you how this society is, man. But all she was going to do was try to get up there with Esau and sell our people out. You know, that's why the Most High shut it down. Get out of here. Because none of these elected officials really going to help us, you know. I don't know what they're going to do with Trump, this so-called impeachment, you know what I'm saying, which, and impeachment is nothing but like an indictment. He still got to go, Clinton got impeached, but he got found guilty. You know what I'm saying? So, a couple of brothers like, yo, Trump got impeached. A lot of this could just be a three-ring circus, man. They tell you, when you read the history of American presidents, they said it's a running joke amongst American presidents. Every one of them have to have a scandal. All right, that's like a running joke amongst them. Every American president, whether it's a known or whether unknown, whether it's something, broadcast or not. So, okay, now Trump is impeached, now what? You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for chariots and nuclear missiles, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's just Esau kingdom divided, like the Greeks and the Romans. Same thing. Just like during the Maccabees. That's what said Antiochus was a hostage at Rome, because you had Greeks and Romans fighting back then also. You got the Senate, and they don't like Trump, and Nancy Pelosi, she's about to drop dead. You know what I'm saying? Her mission is, we got to impeach her. The woman look all jacked up, but she want to impeach Trump. You know what I'm saying? So, he's like, he's not even worried about it. Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? But that's just Esau's folly and his kingdom divided. All right, go ahead, sis.
I was going to say, speaking of nuclear missiles, did you hear that North Korea said they were going to give the United States a Christmas gift?
Yeah.
And a lot of people think it's going to be a missile.
Because they always do that. North Korea, they be doing that from year to year. They always say, we're going to send a gift to America. I remember about 10 years ago, when the 4th of July came, they tested out like 7 missiles, and they told America, we're going to send some real fireworks to y'all. And they did, a lot of times, they'll do a nuclear test on an American holiday, or around American holiday. But I remember like some years ago, they told America, these are real fireworks we about to send y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it's about to get serious, man. But stay strong, keep the commandments, and the Most High got your back. All right, read on.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
So you have wicked Israelites, sellout Israelites, during that time that said, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. All right, make an agreement with the other nations. Go ahead.
That are around about us.
Go ahead.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Because they felt since we departed from the heathen, we had much sorrow. Y'all know the old saying, if we can't beat them, let's join them. All right, so keep that scripture in mind. What verse is that?
Verse 11.
All right, keep that verse in mind, because we're going to link that up with something later on. Read on. Verse 12.
So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward wherein that they...
Oh, that's it on that. Jump down to 41. All right, now usually we read 1 Maccabees chapters 1 through 4, but that's a lot of reading. Y'all can read that on your own. We're just going to get to some key points in the story. All right, to let you understand. But the story is basically self-explanatory. That's what the Maccabees and the Apocrypha is for. There's the gap between Malachi and Matthew. All right, the Old Testament leaves off with Malachi and then it picks up with Matthew. It leaves off with the Persian Mede kingdom, and then it picks up with the Romans. So where's that kingdom, that third kingdom that Daniel saw in between? That's your Maccabean history. All right, and it's also the incorporation of the Feast of Dedication, or Hanukkah. Because when you read the prophecy in Daniel, we're going to get it later, like I like to bring out every year, you have a debate amongst Israelites. Hanukkah is not Leviticus 23. That's not a set-apart holy day of the Most High. But it's prophesied in Daniel, and then it's fulfilled during the time of the feast. So you can't tell the Most High he can't add a feast day to the calendar. Who are you? So if it's not in Leviticus 23, we're not supposed to follow it. Well, explain why it was broken down in Daniel, the 8th chapter and 11th chapter. We're going to explain that later. All right? Yeah, Purim also. All right? So because it's not Leviticus 23, it came during different times of Israel's history, and it was to be celebrated as a feast, as one of our feast days. Good? All right, read on.
Verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus...
Like I said, y'all can read verses 12 on down on your own. That could be your homework. We got 8 days. Hanukkah's an 8-day feast. So you can study this feast each day. All the scriptures we bring out tonight, the scriptures you run across, get into the law. You can read all the Maccabees in these next 8 days. You know, try to put yourself on a time frame of, let me try to read 1st and 2nd Maccabees, you know, maybe 3-4 chapters a day, I'll get through it. Okay? Read on.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people,
Go ahead.
and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Right, so it said all men should leave their laws. He said all should be one people. What does that sound like? Babylon, what else? America, what else? There's 3 words I'm looking for. New World Order, okay? That's why they call it a New World Order, because they were trying to do it back then. Okay? All should be one. That's that same spirit of Esau. Salaki, take over.
That's the same spirit, in the world order. They're gonna try to make it happen again with the like the Illuminati and everything like that. They're gonna try to make it happen with that. Where you live on?
43. Verse 43. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
So yeah, that's what a lot of our people do. They consent to this society. You know, they're one with the beast. You know, which is America. You know what I'm saying? Even going down to, you know, their religions. You know how they worship one, like again, because all these religions go back to these other nations. You know, Christianity, so on and so forth. So we been one with the beast. Go ahead.
Verse 44. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days.
So and that's what's happening. You know, they're telling us that the law is done away with, but we can keep the laws of the land, which is, yeah, you keeping the so-called white man's laws, but or not. I'm not saying y'all. Our people keep the so-called white man's laws, but they don't want to keep the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? They quick to say the law is done away with, but they want you to keep, you know, pay your tickets, pay your taxes, and all those things that's against the scriptures. We're not supposed to tax. We're not supposed to have usury, you know, like loans and things like that. So everything is against the scriptures, but we gotta abide by those. But when it comes down to the scriptures, everybody can't keep the Passover, or it's too hard, or you know what I'm saying. But they'll keep Christmas and so on and so forth. Go ahead.
Or they say that, it's too many of them. How you keep all 613 laws? America got all kind of laws that you got to abide by all the time. It's way more than 613 laws if you look at the law. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't use that as an excuse. Verse 46. Verse 46, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine flesh and unclean beasts.
So, and that sacrifice swine's flesh. So it's from day one we weren't dealing with the swine. You know what I'm saying? We was never dealing with the swine. So even when they use Acts, the 10th chapter with Cornelius, Peter was telling the angel, like, I never ate anything unclean. So he knew that he wasn't eating unclean food. You know what I'm saying? But even when you read, also like the priest was saying, to read Maccabees. But if you read, I believe it's either First Maccabees, the 2nd chapter, or Second Maccabees, the 2nd chapter, or 7th chapter. It talks about how we were killed for not eating pork, but the Greeks was forcing us to eat swine, and you had some Israelites that just stopped or said they wasn't going to do it, and they were killed for it. So it's showing you that we weren't dealing with the swine or pork. All right, go ahead.
Verse 48. That they
also because I don't know if anybody know what a grove is. Anybody, go ahead,
Strip club, dancing on the pole.
it said a strip, what?
Strip club, dancing on the pole, bro. Heard about that.
Yeah, that's one of them, but, in the scripture, when it talks about groves, it's like trees also, so like, you know, going into Christmas, like, it tells you when, matter of fact, that's not so kind, but basically, when you look it up in the Hebrew, grove is basically a tree, so that's what it is, and when you read in the Old Testament, basically, we were supposed to cut those down and not have them by the altar. So yeah, that's most I was against the trees basically. So that's what a grove is. Go ahead.
Verse 48, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Okay, so we left our children uncircumcised as well. So mentally we was uncircumcised and physically. That's why when you read in the New Testament, when you have Greeks and you had the circumcision and those that was uncircumcised. So you had Jews that were circumcised, knew they were Israelites, and then those that became Greeks or Hellenic Jews, they stopped circumcising themselves and they became just like us calling out, like I said earlier, about being African American and things like that. Before we knew we were Jews, we were doing everything in this society, going into that. So yeah, some brothers might not have been circumcised physically, but we know we're uncircumcised spiritually. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Go ahead.
Verse 49, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he shall die. In the same self manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit every one of that forsook the law. So they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee or for succor.
So yeah, it drove a lot of Israelites to go. Even makes me think of if you study about the Moors or the Moranos, they call them the Moranos, but it was Jews that in Spain that had secretly, they called them Moranos because they secretly practiced the Hebrew customs, but openly they had to practice Christianity or they would be put to death. So it's similar, like there's nothing new under the sun. So you had Israelites that had to be out there basically doing what Antiochus said, but on the low they were still keeping the laws. Go ahead.
Now the 15th day of the month Caslu, in the 150th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and built idol altars throughout the city of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the door of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire.
So they were burning off the Torah, you know what I'm saying? So they was trying, and just like Esau's trying to get rid of the Bible, they trying to do away with the Bible, you know what I'm saying? So it was in an article, but even they trying to stop talking about the scriptures altogether. You know what I'm saying? So they was burning it. And Esau will probably do something like that now these days too. You know, trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, they're already trying to come out with different type of Bibles. You got the Queen James Bible, now you got the Book of Yeezy. It got all kind of stuff they're trying to do, man. They're trying to wipe out the Most High's laws any way they can. You know what I'm saying? Just like when he was saying that we're being anti-Semitic, all it said was Yahweh Shai coming. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? So all it says is so-called Jesus coming. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, they just trying to wipe our culture out. And it's crazy. But it's funny to us, but also it's giving our people in the limelight. You know what I'm saying? You giving us you making us more knowledgeable to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're trying to demonize our name, call it Black Hebrew Israelites, but also people are going to look up Black Hebrew Israelites, and they're going to look at those videos, and they're going to get edified. So, thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, it's just showing you, they set up, it's showing you it's a setup, cause even what I was talking about earlier, they showed like an Edomite that was, doing like what, he was,
Oh yeah, he was defiling the temples. I mean, the Jewish temples. Yeah.
It was an Edomite they showed on the camera, so it wasn't even us, you know what I'm saying? And we already know, I mean, what kind of mind frame we're supposed to be in these last days, you know? We're not really supposed to be out, you know, killing, you know, our enemies. The Most High is gonna give us that power to do that when the time comes, but we already know, so we know that they try to set us up and make us look bad, but all the videos and all the camp video, all the breakdowns that we doing, we teaching the law, we teaching righteousness. You know what I'm saying? So it's just showing you that, you know, they want us to, matter of fact, get Matthew 5:11. You know, so, yeah, everybody go to Matthew 5:11.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 11. When everybody have it, say, Con. Blessed are we when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake.
So speak all manner against us falsely. Because again, it's been proved, even with the Jersey City thing, they clearly said, it's in a CNN, you know, because CNN, one of the biggest, you know, media for news and things like that, they clearly said that the shooters, they had no ties with us. They couldn't find anything to, but yet, all throughout media, they're like, they're Hebrew Israelites, they Black Hebrew Israelites, you know what I'm saying? But in CNN, they saying there was no ties, they said they did it on their own, you know what I'm saying? So it's showing you that they really trying to come after us. But the Lord said that blessed, you know, when they persecute us, because they're not doing it to the Christian church, people in Christianity, you know, it's mainly them Black Hebrew Israelites. We on the, what is it, the poverty law?
Separate property law.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, you know? So, but like the elder was saying, you know, we gotta keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Matter of fact,
I mean, that speaks volumes to be on the separate property law, and we ain't even burn no churches or bound anybody. So that goes to show you this is the truth, because they scared of the truth coming out. If you got to demonize the people that's speaking about the Lord, then you know this is the truth.
exactly. We haven't burned no crosses, we haven't killed, you know, burned a church, haven't shot anybody, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what they doing, you know what I'm saying? So get Sirach 33 real quick. Yeah, everybody go to Sirach 33.
The book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 1, when everybody have it, say, Con. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation, even again, he will deliver him.
So, yeah, there shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Most High. You know, so that whatever we going through, persecution, you know, just be there, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, have the fear of the Most High, like it say in Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14. Keep the commandments. All right, and he'll deliver it. Go ahead.
A wise man hateth not the law, but he that is an hypocrite therein is a ship in a storm.
Yeah, so yeah, like the Pharisees, like the Lord was like, keep the, they sit in Moses' seat, but do not after what they do. So basically, because the Pharisees sit. Go ahead.
A man of understanding trusteth the law, and the law is faithful unto him as an oracle. Prepare what to say.
So like that, yeah, that was it. So yeah, that was just to show y'all that, you know, just to keep the commandments. commandments, in these last days, that's what, you'll be delivered. All right? Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna break down,
I got a question real fast.
yeah.
What y'all think about those guys that going around with the Negro lights only doctrine? That's just trying to like say the Negroes is all 12 tribes that's going around. They spread like a lot of different doctrines. And I see them as being suspect, like they're trying to like add confusion to the charts. And they saying Issachar ain't really Issachar. And they going around, and one of the guys we had, one of the people we had this debate with, it was possible that this female could have been a Hamite. So it's like some weird stuff going around where they put in the world that all of the Israelites from all the tribes are Negroes on.
Yeah, the Watchmen reports do that,
We smashed them in the debate, it was Kazak from Ten Commandments.
Lock your brother, we're gonna address that afterwards.
Yeah.
But we wanna, stay on course.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's-
Yeah, so, let's go back to. Back to 57.
157. The book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 57. Everybody have it, say con? And whosoever was found with any of the book of the testament, or if any committed into the law, the king's commandment was like it, that they should be put to death. Let me read that over, slide. And whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any committed to the law.
So anybody that was found with the law, the scriptures, they would be put to death.
The king's commandment was that they should be put to death. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women and had caused their children to be circumcised. And they hung.
So yeah, just showing you the wickedness, just no mercy, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they've done over the years, slavery, you know what I'm saying? Just killing everyone, the male, especially our women, our children, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, those who
Even when we was in slavery, we found we even reading. they would try to beat you and hang you. They don't even want you, because they knew when we get to this word and we start understanding what it was talking about, just like Nat Turner, when he broke it down, he caused a revolt. Because he was the only one that really understood, and they taught him how to read early. And when he really started getting to the scriptures and he saw his people dying and getting killed, he was like, okay, and he started seeing signs. He said how the Most High start opening doors to you when you start having greater understanding. So he caused that revolt, and just like a Sambo, just like we were talking right now, he wasn't told on him and said that he was about to do a revolt. He was loving his master. See, this is where we at right now. We loving our master. We loving the people that hate us. We can't wait to go tell Esau what our brothers are doing. You know what I'm saying? We so quick to tell on each other, knowing good dang well that these Edomites hate you, but they want to get some what they call it, a slap on a hand from their enemy, because they feel like if this white man say I'm doing good, I'm doing good. They love his admiration. They love to be looking up to him. They love to follow behind him.
Butter
You know what
biscuits.
I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying? It is crazy. And they want to be the only black wherever you at. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be around all these brothers. You know, those coons, you know what I'm saying? So this is exactly, I mean, you know, they said ain't nothing new under the sun. Exactly what's happening in the Maccabees days is happening right now. We'll always have coons that's gonna be.
They want that approval from Esau.
Yeah, approval. There you go. They want approval. If he say I made it, I made it. If I can get into this all white institution, I made it. I don't want to deal with these Negroes. You know what I'm saying? I'm better than that. You know what I'm saying? Even though that we built our own institutions, but it ain't good enough unless the white man said, all right, cool. That's a cool thing to do.
Go to Psalms real quick. Psalms 62 and 10.
The book of Psalms, chapter 62, verse 10. When everybody have it, say con. Now guys, say con. Trust not in oppression.
What did it say?
Trust not in oppression.
So yeah, our people trust in oppression. You know what I'm saying? They solely trust in Esau, especially. You know what I'm saying? To fight for them. You know, every time something happens to us, we quick to go to the system that's already showing that it's not just. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers and locked up for crimes they didn't commit, but we still going to the court system. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we keep trusting in oppression. We keep thinking that the so-called white man is gonna protect us. He's gonna show favor towards us, but the curses said they weren't gonna show favor toward young or old. You know what I'm saying? So and that's what's going on right now. But we're not supposed to trust in oppression. Go ahead.
Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them.
Because even with the trust not oppression, because our people, when they trust in oppression, and like we're dealing with the Maccabees, they selling out. Cause so yeah, if riches increase, because all of the sellouts is getting banked. You know what I'm saying? They getting that bag. You know, so that's what they gotta do. They gotta sell out. They gotta be a homosexual, or they gotta wear a dress. You know, all these things that's turning them against their people. So, but they trust in oppression. You know what I'm saying? So, matter of fact, Kodak.
I got a precept for that. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. When everybody have it, say come. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Yeah. 17, verse 5. Everybody have it, say come. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. Just like the man said, when you trust in man's laws, you depart from the Lord. That's what the scripture says. You know what I'm saying? You automatically become the enemy of the Most High when you trust the man's. Oh, somebody got their hand up? No? Okay. So just piggybacking what the brother said, just giving you another precept on that.
Yeah, trust not in man. That's a good precept. Yeah. That was matter of fact, go to Ecclesiastes. Yeah, 7.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. When everybody have it, say con. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
So yeah, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. So even speaking about the Hanukkah, Judas was, like, when you read some of the other chapters, like, I didn't know what the priest was gonna go into in regards, but when you read, certain chapters, finish that up. Read it one more time.
Ecclesiastes 7, verse 7. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Salakia. Surely oppression make a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
So yeah, oppression maketh a wise man mad. That's what we're supposed to be mad that we're in this state. We're supposed to be mad. We're supposed to come back to the Most High. But we're supposed to be mad at the state that we're in. We're not supposed to, our people loving America, loving society. They have no, they soft. You know what I'm saying? But the Maccabees, get that. First Maccabees, 3rd chapter. So let's see what Judas did. First Maccabees 3, start at the top.
Everybody have it, say come.
First Maccabees 3 and what?
3 and 1. Everybody have it, say come. Then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his steed, and all his brethren helped him. And so did all that heed his father. And they fought with cheerfulness in battle for the battle of Israel.
So yeah, they fought with the cheerfulness of the battle of Israel. You know what I'm saying? We joining America's army and stuff like that. We fighting for Israel. Fighting for our nation. But that's the only time we should ever want to fight for anything is for our nation, for our power. You know what I'm saying? I know our brothers, there's some brothers that I know some brothers that used to be in the military that's in the truth now. You know what I'm saying? But, we fight for this wicked system that oppresses all the time. Go ahead.
So he got his people great honor and put on a breastplate of a giant and girded his warlike harness about him. And he made battle, protecting the host with his sword. In his axe he was like a lion, and like a lion's whelp roaring for his prey. For he pursued the wicked and sought them out, and burnt up those that vexed his people.
So, read that again.
For he pursued the wicked.
So he pursued the wicked. Go ahead.
And sought them out, and burnt up those that vexed his people.
So, just showing you that the scriptures, it's showing you it goes hand in hand with what happens in, like we was bringing up in that turn. And there's other, the Haiti Revolution. I forgot how to say it. Tucson. Yeah, so, it says.
Mark Basie, whatever.
So, burn up those that vex his people. So, same thing, nothing new under the sun. Yeah, we got.
Let's jump back to First Maccabees 2 and 1. All right. Salaki, y'all, just technical difficulties, but we getting it together. Safe is busy. All right, but anyway, First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 1. Read that, brother.
In those days arose Matthias, the son of John.
So now this is an important part of the story. Can y'all keep it down, please? All right, keep it in order. All right. We know we got to get a little restless, but while the word is going out, let's keep it in order. All right. First Maccabees 2:1 again.
In those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jeroboam, and from Jerusalem and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons, Johanan, called Cadiz, Simeon, called Dicey, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar, who called Avram, and Jonathan, whose surname was Epiphas.
Go ahead.
And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem.
Right, so what's happening here, the revolution is about to start against the Greek Inquisition. So this is a very important part of the story because it shows when the Maccabees started raising up, and it had to be done through their father. All right, that's why it's very important for a father to teach his sons and to be a warrior, teaching your sons to be a warrior. All right, why? Because after Matthias dies, you're going to see that his sons is able to take on the revolution and eventually defeat the Greeks and take the temple back. All right, so the Most High is a man of war. All right, this loving Jesus that they talk about, and we know Yahushua does love, but the Most High, he teaches us to go to war when we have to, in righteousness. Okay? All right, read on.
He said, woe is me, wherefore was I born to...
Can somebody keep the children down? All right. Go ahead.
He said, woe is me, wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people?
He said, woe is me. So, he had a spirit of freedom or death. I was born to see the misery of our people. And a lot of times that's the spirit we have being in this truth, but you can't really physically get out there and do anything. Because it's not time for that yet, or the Most High really didn't give us that time. Or you can't get enough men behind you to really want to go to war. All right, nah, brother, you know what I'm saying? You talking about going against the white man? I don't know about that, brother. You know what I'm saying? The Negroes are complacent. They too scary. They'll kill us all day and every day in the hood, but they won't go against that devil, man. So that's the battle that we're fighting. But this had to take place historically to fulfill the prophecy in Daniel. All right, as we're going to read later. Come on.
And of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered unto the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers.
Go ahead.
Her temple is become as a man without glory. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity.
Right, so the temple became like a man without glory. The vessels was carried away captive. Go ahead.
Her infants are slain in the streets.
The Lord said the infants are slain in the streets.
Her young men.
And back then the Greeks was just coming up, killing our babies in the street, man. And what's reminiscent to that now? The way the police kill our youth. And beat them and choke them and do whatever to them. All right, go ahead.
Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
Her young men with the sword of the enemy. Same curse. The modern day sword is the gun. But back then the Greeks, they was killing our young men in the streets in Jerusalem. All right, go ahead.
What nation have not had a part in her kingdom?
He said, listen, what nation have not had a part in our kingdom? Same thing now. Every nation can come in our community and prosper. The Bible is not a joke, man. The Bible speaks truth to power. Okay? It's the same thing going on now. No matter what state, what city, everywhere you go is the same curse. Everywhere you travel, that's how you know it's from a higher power. No matter what city you go to, no matter what state, is some other heathen in our community prospering over us. So it said, what nation have not had a part in our spoils? Good.
In her kingdom and gotten of her spoils.
Good.
All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she is become a bond slave.
Right, of a free woman, we became a bond slave. All right, go ahead.
And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it.
Have what?
Profaned
The
it.
Gentiles have profaned our glory. Because back then what happened, the Greeks came in and defiled our temple. Right, come on.
To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer?
Go ahead.
And Matthias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourn very sore.
See that? So if you in captivity under the enemy, but you love the Most High Yahushua and the laws, you like, I'd rather die, man. I'd rather die than to be ruled over by my enemies because they're oppressing us. All right, go ahead.
In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, come into the city Modin to make them sacrifice.
Go ahead.
And when many of the Israel came unto them, Matthias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers and said to Matthias on the wise, Thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man, this city and strengthened with the sons and brethren.
Right, so he said, let me come to you because you got respect among the people. All right, so if the so-called white man, if he can get the leaders to sell out, then he can get the people to follow. So that's why he went to Matthias, right? Go ahead.
Now therefore come through first and fulfill the king's
He
commandment.
said, come through first and go on the altar and sacrifice the swine's flesh. All right, go ahead.
Like as all the heathens have done.
Like the rest of the heathen have done. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem.
He said the men of Judah and such as remain at Jerusalem. Because remember in chapter 1, we read that the Israelites said, let's go make a covenant with the heathen. So he said, you being a top man and a man of the Most High, you come and sacrifice so the people can follow you. All right, go ahead.
So shalt thou in thy house be in the number of the king's friends.
Right, everybody write down Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. The Most High said, surely oppression makes a wise man mad and a gift destroys the heart. So he said, look, if you come and sacrifice this swine's flesh, you'll be with the king's friends. You'll have favor. You can sit up here with me, drink the best wine, have all the gifts and everything. All right, I'll make sure you and your family and everybody's straight, but you gotta come eat that swine flesh. Gotta come sacrifice that swine's flesh. To show the people that you're breaking the law and you're submitting to Greek rulership. All right, go ahead.
And thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold.
He said, see that? Your children will be honored with silver and gold. And that's what Esau do. He'll come along and try to pay you off. All right, but they tried to do that with Malcolm X. And that was like not too long before they killed him. They got a audio on YouTube of the FBI coming to his house. But Malcolm secretly recorded it. And they said, we can give you some money to give up the names of the members of the Nation of Islam. And Malcolm said, you insulted my intelligence if you think you could pay me off. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't know he was secretly recording. Right? And they kept trying and he was like, nah. And then not too far after that is when they killed him. Because that's what Esau do. The FBI, CIA, they'll try to buy you off. All right? And after that, if that don't work, they'll kill you or they'll do a media, a smear campaign on you. All right? But a lot of times they try money. All right? Because they know that Esau got a saying, every man has a price. All right? So, they tried. And Matthias said no. He said, look, I give your sons plenty of gold and silver. Just come and sacrifice this swine. Right, go ahead.
Then Matthias answered and spake with a loud voice.
He said with a loud voice. Go ahead.
Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers.
Right, everybody else is falling away from the customs of their fathers. All right, Israel have a habit of saying, the word religion is not in the Bible. The word religion is in the Bible. It's in the book of James. It's here in the Apocrypha. But it just means to go back to the customs of your ancestors. That's all it means. All right, we had a habit of over the years of a lot of brothers in Israel. Religion ain't in the Bible. The word is actually there. In the New Testament and in the Apocrypha. But what he was saying, listen, we're not going to break the customs, the laws, the statutes and commandments and the traditions of our forefathers. All right, go ahead.
And give consent to his commandment.
And give consent to sell out. Go ahead.
Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
Go ahead.
We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion either on the right hand or the left.
Right, he said we will not hearken from the traditions of our forefathers to follow the traditions of Esau from the right to the right or the left. Go ahead.
Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar.
Here come a coon.
Which was a modern according to the king's commandment.
Right, so and after he gave this nice strong speech, All right, here come one of our people to come and sacrifice the swine on the altar. And that's what happens a lot of times with Israel. When we got some kind of momentum going or something, here comes some Negro that'll sell out and say something simple. And like, oh man. Something like Rodney King, can we all get along? Right? Like they had the LA riots out here. Brothers was turned up. People was mad. They was part of police brutality and the murder and the killing and beating. So they started them riots. Like, no. And then that's why when you watch like documentaries on the LA riots, you see a lot of them brothers like, we don't care what Rodney King talking about. This was started based upon him, but we don't care what that. Can we get along? No, they was already turned up rioting. You know what I'm saying? Because why? You quenching the spirit now. We in revolution mode. You talking about no. So after Matthias made that strong speech, here come a Negro to come sell out and say, well, I'm a sacrifice some swine's flesh. I don't care what he said. All right, go ahead.
Which thing when Matthias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to a judgment.
Go ahead.
Wherefore he ran and slew upon the altar.
He ran and slew him upon the altar. Because why? After all that I said, you're going to still come up here and sacrifice and do something wicked like that. So he came and killed them on the altar. Right, go ahead.
Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at the time, and the altar he pulled down.
He what?
He pulled down.
He pulled down the idol altar. Go ahead.
Thus doth the zealousy for the law of God, like an Pharisee did unto Zambri, the son of Solomon.
Thus he dealt zealously for the law of the Most High. All right, meaning he had zeal for the law. He's ready to fight and, kill for the law of the Most High, right? If you're not ready to die for something, if you're not ready to die for something, then you shouldn't be living. All right, that's a saying, especially for your nation and the truth. Right, go ahead.
And Matthias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Go ahead.
So he and his sons fled unto the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city.
See that? So that was a sacrifice that they made. They fled into the mountains and left everything they had in the city. All right? The average one of our people not doing that now. All right? They scared to give up their goodies, their comfortable lifestyle. That's why a lot of Israel, they won't fight or rebel against this system either. Because they're comfortable, they're complacent. All right, go ahead.
Then many sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there.
Go ahead.
Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because affliction increased sore upon them.
Go ahead.
Now when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David, that certain men who had broken the king's commandments were gone down into the secret places in the wilderness, they pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day. And they said unto them, let that which ye have done.
So like what verse you in?
33.
All right, go ahead.
And he said unto them, let that which he have done here throw a surface, come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and he shall live. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So they have gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast thy stone at them, not stop the places where they had laid.
All right, so jump down to 49. I'm going to get to a point here. Jump down to 40. First Maccabees 2:49. So all the verses in between, y'all can read on your own and get understanding. It's a very beautiful and inspiring story. You got 8 days of Hanukkah, so get down and read this good history and learn. Learn this stuff on your own, because the story part of it is basically self-explanatory. When you look into the history and the different people that played their part, it's very vast, but the storyline of it, you can get. All right, so jump down to 49. We just want to hit some key points.
Verse 49. Now when the time drew near that Matthias should die, he said unto his son, now have pride and rebuke gotten strength in the time of destruction, in the wrath of indignation.
Jump down to 61. So now from verse 51 on down, he gives you different examples of our ancestors and forefathers, like Daniel's in the lion's den, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Joseph. He gives different examples of our forefathers that trusted in the Most High and they were delivered. All right, y'all can read that on your own. Go ahead.
Verse 61, and thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
Right, so now that's why I jumped down to this verse, because none that put their trust in the Most High shall be overcome. Now, why is this important right here and right now? By show of hands, don't yell out.
Because they're trying to demonize all of Israel, so keep it.
Khan, exactly. So this is very pertinent right now. Khan? All right, read it again, brother. Read that verse again.
And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
Right? Oh, you got you. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned into his dust, and his thoughts is come to nothing.
Right, so it says, and this consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. So that 61st verse is very important. All right, because none that put their trust in the Most High shall be overcome or defeated. Right? So that's very important to the time that we're living in right now. This Maccabean history is very important because what? They're trying to demonize Israel right now. All right, you guys are terrorists. You want to go around. Some Edomite woman inboxed me on Instagram today. Do you support the shootings, the Jersey shootings? You know what I'm saying? I had fun with her, boy. Oh, I had fun with her. She's like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Some random so-called white woman. She looked like she's from Europe somewhere. Do you support the Jersey? Are you some agent trying to track me in my answer? You know what I'm saying? So, I said, I had a little fun with it. I said, what do you mean by support? And I put it in a quotation box, you know what I'm saying? And we went back and forth, and I said, listen, at the end of the day, that's the judgment of the Most High. Anything that happens, life, death, whatever happens, that comes from the Lord. If you consider all the times that young, innocent Black and Latino men was killed and murdered by our people, how the so-called white Jews financed the slave trade, you think we're supposed to feel sorry for any shooting that happens to y'all? So I don't know where these people come from. I don't know what kind of answer she thought she was going to get from me, but do you support the Jersey shootings? But when I got finished with her, she's like, oh, okay, I understand. I guess she going to screenshot it and send it to the British intelligence or whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, they getting silly with it, but it's some serious stuff going on behind the scenes. Some stuff that I've been made privy to back on the East Coast is getting real. Brothers have been filling me in, but we're not budging on praises to Yahweh.
Yeah, Salakia. That's another thing. We gotta be careful when Esau is coming at us. Any one of us, they're trying to bait us into saying the wrong thing, and they're really going to even the most unlearned Israelites and asking questions that where they're trying to provoke a totally wrong answer.
Right.
And they're gonna try to publicize those answers.
Right.
So that's another thing we got to be cautious of and think about when Esau comes asking all these outlandish questions. Because I heard it in the interview they did on Asha Shirama. Half of those questions that the Edomite lady was asking him was trying to bait him into saying the wrong thing.
Right.
And that's pretty much what they're doing and what they're going to continue to do and what they always have.
Yeah, because the thing that's going on now is they anybody ever saw the movie Minority Report? Yeah. So what they're gonna demonize you and arrest you and label you a terrorist on your thoughts, on the way you think, because you keep the commandments of the Most High. Right? Go to Revelation 12:17. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 17. That's what They're becoming thought police, right? We're gonna lock you up because you think a certain way. All right, that's why she said, do you support the Jersey shootings? You know, and I fun with her like, what do you mean by support? You know what I'm saying? Because if you want to say, I know why she asked you that question. So you support the Jersey shooting, so that means you'll go out and shoot somebody, so we can lock you up and label you a terrorist. I know what that means. I saw that with the Tom Cruise with the movie Minority Report years ago. They gonna lock you up on your thoughts. You was thinking about evil against America.
Pre-crime.
Revelation 12:17. Go ahead, brother. Somebody read that nice and loud.
And the dragon was wroth with the
The
woman
dragon is Satan, Esau, right? His kingdom. Good.
and went to war, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed,
And they're going to make war with the remnant of her seed. Good.
which keep the commandments of God,
Which keep the commandments of the Most High. Good.
and have the testimony of Hamashiach.
And have the testimony of Hamashiach Yahushua. So who does that sound like? The people in the truth. The dragon is going to be angry. Like just like yesterday, man, when they announced Trump got impeached. I noticed I was in Trader Joe's, and these Edomites, man, they look real somber, man. Because they know things are just happening to their kingdom. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sitting there shopping, you know, getting little stuff with my children, whatever. And they got like this real somber look on their face, man. Oh no, Trump got impeached. You know, our society is just crumbling. You know what I'm saying? And they claim they're going to riot. I don't know. The white supremacists claim that they're going to riot, and you know, especially if he goes to trial and they find him guilty, it's going to be riots and race wars, whatever the case may be. But all of this, don't get blindsided. All this is going to come back to focusing on Israel. All right, all this is going to come back to that. With that, there's layers to that Jersey shooting. You know, they're going to all these different things now. Well, anti-Semitism. It can be the way you look at me. You know, he looked at me like he was an anti-Semite. You know what I'm saying? Or when we out there in camp, like now Esau's putting 20s on it. Yeah, when they out there preaching, them guys, they sound very threatening. I be in fear for my safety. You know what I'm saying? Right? And if that was the case, you know how many of us would have cases, man? You know how much us would be locked up? Because we'd be just out there fighting and hurting people. You know what I'm saying? So now they all hyping it up. Yeah, I'm so afraid when them guys are out there teaching. I'm so much in fear. They sound so violent. I think they're going to hurt me. Yeah, right, man. All we did is rebuke you and send you on your way, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's the climate that they're putting out there. So that's why this Maccabee story is very important, because it was the same spirit against the Greek Empire. You know, we're not going to bow to your wickedness. We're going to keep the commandments of the Most High. And Matthias told the king's messenger to his face. You understand? Like when you watch the movie 300, remember Leonidas, he kicked the messenger into that pit, and they killed the rest of them and threw him into that pit. That was an act of war. Because when a king sent a messenger, if you kill that messenger, that's war. So that's why of the 300, they took the war to them. Because they knew it was on already. You know, so they said, yo, we killed the king's messenger, so it's at war. So he said, we're going to go to the hot gates and fight them. We're not waiting for them to bring it to us. See, that's what was going on. So we living in a time of revolution. Don't be scared of revolution. All right? You know, like the Israelite rapper Killer Priest said, he said, I fought physical and a spiritual fight. You know, so we know the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they going to come at us carnal. All right? And we got to call on the power of the Most High to be able to defend ourselves in that day with that spiritual power. Who I didn't have? Mawara and, hold on, the sister, then the two brothers.
I was going to say, you said like how a lot of Edomites know their kingdom was going to fall.
Right.
Like a couple of years ago, I really started to notice like a lot of houses is for sale. Like people is moving out of here.
Yeah.
And somebody had asked the Edomite, and they was like, yeah, like look what's going around here. Like I'm not about to stay in this country when so it can fall. So
Right.
Edomites is moving to Europe and other places where they got citizenship.
Kind.
They know it's about to go down here.
They know it's about to go down, you know, and then a lot of these Edomites, they've fallen in their own kingdom. You know what I'm saying? They losing out. They losing out in their own kingdom. That's why the tension was between the so-called white Jews and the blacks in Jersey City. Because even those so-called white Jews, a lot of them are moving out of Brooklyn because they can't afford to live in Brooklyn no more. So they're moving into our neighborhoods now because they're greedy against each other. You know, so it's just an ongoing thing of Esau's kingdom, but their time is coming. They know their kingdom is falling. You know, a lot of them, they building them secret, somebody help the sister out? All right? They building them those secret bomb shelters and things of that nature, thinking they're going to run from the Most High. You can't run from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So it's about to go down. Let's be mindful, you know, of right, the time that we live in. All right? All right, go ahead. Where we at?
You left at Revelation 12:17.
Yeah, read that one more time, Salaki.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
So the dragon, Satan, he's going to be angry with the woman, which the woman represents Israel. All right? When you read Revelation 12, the woman represents the nation of Israel. Right, come on.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
The remnant of her seed, because 2/3 of our people, they're going to sell out and they're going to join in with Esau's society. Good.
Which keep the commandments of the Most High.
Which keep the commandments of the Most High. Go ahead.
And have the testimony
He says
of
fire.
Hamashiach.
And have the testimony of Hamashiach Yahushua. So who they going to come after? It said, which keep the commandments, right, and to have the testimony. The testimony is what? The spirit of prophecy. It tell you that in Revelation 19:10, I believe. So it said they're going to come at those that are on the front line teaching the word and those keeping the commandments. People think they're going to hide because they not the camp. See, that's why I don't deal with these camps, man, because they out there preaching that stuff. No, listen, if you keeping the laws of the Most High as a believing Israelite, you're retarded. I don't care what you say, what you think, how you try to disassociate yourself from the camps. No, you the high and mighty Israelite. No, you keeping the commandments of that Bible. You not for America. They coming after you too.
I was just gonna say, there was actually a camp that issued a statement, I'm not gonna say their name.
No.
They issued a statement, it was basically trying to, like, further separate themselves from the
Yeah, we're not black. That was
like,
disgusting too.
I was like, yeah, they
I
said-
spoke on that. I spoke on that a little bit. I know you talking about.
Yeah.
I spoke on that a little bit while I was down in Dallas last week. That was so off. I was like, these brothers, man. I couldn't even finish reading the statement. I was like, you know what I'm saying? That's why, Chuck D told us, every brother's not a brother. I mean, unfortunately, it's just like that in this truth. And brothers don't see the bigger picture. I don't care if you want to separate, you want to have your own camp. You don't have to talk to me. But when Esau come, they're not looking at that. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking at that. We might be locked up in a Guantanamo Bay type prison with 7 different camps. You know what I'm saying? But you don't talk to me, you got your own camp. Now, them brothers over there, I don't deal with them brothers over there. You know what I'm saying? But they're not differentiated. They said the Hebrew Israelite movement. They did not say camp this and that. Like I said, I don't care, because I don't kiss up to nobody. I don't care how big your camp is. I don't care who you think you are, how much you think the Most High dealing with you. I like the down-to-earth and humble brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to issue a statement, we're not those guys over there. You know what I'm saying? No, you got on fringes, you keeping the commandments, you teaching the gospel, they looking at you the same way. And probably worse because your congregation is bigger, so they consider you a bigger threat. Remember back in the days they did a documentary on CBS on the Nation of Islam. It's probably before most of our time, but I've seen it before. It was called The Hate That Hate Produced. All right, any of y'all familiar with that? All right, now, when they did that documentary, they said, how do you have all these black people in this organized religion that are against America? And, back then the Nation of Islam was wrong. Black man's the devil, you know what I'm saying? So they tried to call the documentary The Hate That Hate Produced. So in other words, America's been showing so much hate for our people so long. Now look at what you have, these organizations rising up that's hating us now. You understand? But they couldn't believe that it was so many people organized in this religion, so many so-called black people organized in this religion calling Esau the devil that the Bible speaks of. So it's the same thing today. They're not really looking at it. They like, okay, they different, but they pretty much all keeping them laws. They not for America. They looking at, so your statement about we're not them or whatever the hell You think you saying Esau don't care about that. They said the Hebrew Israelite movement. And they put a lot of different camps in the news, so they're not differentiating. You know, so basically if you keeping these laws and trying to walk in the spirit, you're going to be a target. All right, go ahead, Hannah. What got
Oh,
you?
yeah, what we're doing right now is that, they're marking us as terrorists and all that. I think it's wise that we go out on the street and we start saying, hey, you know, smash the babies against the rocks. Y'all are gonna be our slaves. We should continue with that, vexing Esau and telling them what we're gonna do to them. Y'all gonna be our servants.
Somebody give me 1 Thessalonians 3:3. Because I heard that too. We should use wisdom now. We shouldn't go out there and say, but see, when you do that, you're compromising the Bible. Because the Bible says in Psalms 137, they babies' heads gonna be spread. We didn't say that. The Most High said it. So we go out there now. We want to teach half the Bible now.
Well,
You know, so hold on. Let me finish. We're going to teach half the Bible now. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You got to say, as long as you say, thus saith the Lord, by your words you're justified, by your words you're condemned. You know what I'm saying? If that Bible says it, brother, that's what it says. So now, when something happens, we're going to compromise. And, you know, if I'm not saying you're saying this, but if a woman get offended because you tell her to be a chaste or a modest woman, oh, don't read the parts in the Bible about a woman being chaste and modest. Don't read them parts. We can't do that. We gotta, it's thus saith the Lord. Now, what brothers should do is always say what the Most High gonna do. Don't say what you gonna do. So always say it's the judgment of the Most High, and just say what the Most High gonna do. Whether he gonna use us or not, that's up to him. But always put in there is what the Most High gonna do. Because we can't start cherry picking on what we're going to teach out in the scriptures is thus saith the Lord. All right, read that. 1 Thessalonians 3:3.
That no man shall be moved by these afflictions.
See that Paul said that no man should be moved by these afflictions. Go ahead.
For yourselves know that we are appointed.
Sirach 3:27. All right, go ahead.
That we are appointed thereunto you.
No, I'm talking Salakia. Second Ezra 3:27. Read on.
For yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto.
The Lord said, for yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto. Go ahead.
For verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation.
He said we should suffer tribulation. Go ahead.
Even as it come to pass.
Even as it came to pass. Come on.
And ye know.
And you know it. So now we got to know that we in a time where it's turning up. You understand? But if you teaching this word, as long as you say it, thus saith the Lord, you can read Genesis to Revelation with no problem. If it's in this book, it's there. You understand? If Esau come up and say, "What you guys said the Bible says you're gonna smash our babies against the stone." Psalms 137. That's what the Most High said, and there you justify. Okay? You can't say, "Nah, well it don't say that," and "Nah, we ain't gonna read that to you now." Because you know, nah, that's all right. Because then Esau could call you a liar. Well, a year ago, you read that scripture, man. You know what I'm saying? I got you on YouTube saying that scripture. Now you're telling me that scripture's not there now? You're not going to read it to me? You know what I'm saying? So you, listen, is no man should be moved by these afflictions, man. All right, 2 Ezra 3:27. So like, I see you out.
No,
Right,
I was asking for that scripture.
Huh? The one we just read?
Yeah, but that was in Thessalonians, right?
Yeah, 1 Thessalonians 3:3 and 4.
Okay.
All right, 2 Ezra 3:27.
And so they gavest thy city over into the hands of thine enemies.
I want, is it first? Try 1 Ezra 3:27. When this is the condition of the Bible. While he's looking for that, Salaki, we're going to move on. Go back to Maccabees. So there's a scripture that says,
First and second Maccabees or third?
huh?
First and second Maccabees or third?
No, I was looking for another script, but we in 1 Maccabees what? Where we left off at?
Chapter 2.
We left off at chapter 2, right? Yeah. We left off at chapter 2, I believe.
Oh, that's fine.
2 and 60, yeah, 2 and 61. Uh, 7. All right, yeah, let's go to 2nd Ezra 7:57 real quick. We're going to speed it up a little bit for the sake of time. We don't want the natives to get too restless, so we can have some time to break bread and enjoy each other. Good? Right? All right, 2nd Ezra 7 and 27. 2nd Ezra 7:57. Check this out.
Then answered he me and said, This is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
This is the condition of the battle that man is on the earth must fight. Right? Come on.
That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said.
See that? He said if he be overcome, he's going to suffer as thou hast said. Go ahead.
But if he get the victory,
But if we get the victory through Yahweh Shai, go ahead.
he shall receive the thing that I say.
Right? He shall receive the blessing and the deliverance of the Most High. So we got a battle that we got to fight on this earth, spiritually, mentally, and physically, to a certain degree. Now, if brothers want to use certain wisdom in certain situations, but to not, like a brother told us that one year. This was maybe about, 2019? This was maybe back in 2010, 2011. We were all talking. And a brother said, well, you know, if I'm teaching some Edomites, I'm not going to read Psalms 137 to them. And we said, well, what do you mean, brother? If the topic comes up, or vengeance, or whatever the case may be, we can't start, well, this part of the Bible I'm going to read, but I'm not going to read that part. It's done, especially if the question on the topic come up. What does the Bible say about vengeance? Are you guys going to do what we did to you? The Most High said so. Good? So we can't say, nah, we're not going to do that. It don't say that. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Esau mess around and pull your card. You know what I'm saying? You read that scripture a year ago. You know what I'm saying? Now you're saying it doesn't exist. You know, so if it's in the Bible, you have a right to bring it out. Okay? Thus saith the Lord. As long as you say, thus saith the Lord. Now, I'm going to give you a story. After 9/11, I told this story quite a few times. After 9/11, we was teaching in New York. One of the brothers in the camp, he said, that's what we gonna blow you Edomites up when that time comes. So an Edomite woman was walking by, and she went and told the National Guard. Because after 9/11, the city was being patrolled by the National Guard, right? So the National Guard, they was deputized by the regular police, because you know the military not supposed to operate really on domestically. So they had to bring the regular police with the National Guard. So the police came over. It was an Ephraimite cop, but he was cool. He said, hey, brother, let me talk to you for a minute. I said, I think this brother knew the truth too, and the Most High used him to get us out of that situation. He said, listen, man, I understand what y'all guys bringing out and everything, but he said, you guys have to say the Bible or God. That's your protection. That's what this police told. He said, right now, we can arrest your friend, because he said he's going to blow up. He's going to blow people up. But he said, if y'all say the Bible, or y'all say that's what God said, or if y'all say what God is going to do, I said, this Ephraim might know the truth. Because the way he was talking, like, you got to say the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He said, if y'all say that, we can't touch y'all. He said, now, right now, because the way you spoke to me, I'm not going to arrest your friend. He said, but I can allow the National Guard to take him right now. And we can lock him up for making a terroristic threat. Because he said what he was going to do. He said, you got to say what the Bible says. He said, if you say that's what God is going to do, you can say God going to blow up America all day. He said, they can't do that. They can't touch you. He said, but if you say what you're going to do, see, that's the difference. So if it's in the scriptures, you can read it and say that's what the Most High word says. Now, if they still lock you up, then they just being Satan. You know what I'm saying? So you attacking me for what the Most High said. Okay? So the wisdom is always in, thus saith the Lord. You can't go wrong with that. Now, if you say, thus saith the Lord, and they still come at you, then you suffer for the gospel. Okay? All right, read on. Oh, that's it on that. So go back where we was at. Let's finish out at Maccabees. First Maccabees 161. 261.
First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 61. Everybody have it, say con? And thus consider ye throughout all ages, that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
Go ahead.
Fear not then the words of a sinful man.
Right, don't fear the words of a sinful man. Come on.
For his glory shall be dung and
It
worms.
shall be what?
Dung and
It
worms.
shall be dung and worms. Go ahead.
Today he shall be lifted up. Tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned into his dust, and in his thought is come to nothing.
So the Most High is basically saying, a wicked man that comes against a righteous man, he can put him to death. All right, that's basically what the Most High is saying if you put your trust in him. Go ahead.
Wherefore ye sons be violent and shew yourselves men in behalf of the law, for by it shall ye obtain glory. And behold, I know that your brother Simeon is a man of counsel.
Go ahead.
Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you.
He says, Simon is a man of counsel, give ear to him always. Father unto you. Go ahead.
As for Judas Maccabeus, he hath been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people.
Go ahead.
Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
See, it says, avenge the wrong of your people. Fight back. So some of the most righteous men in the scriptures were what? Warriors also. Right? They were men that fought to the death for their people. So it's how it's going to happen. The Most High going to make it go down, but we had men that fought, shed blood to the death for the truth. All right, Karen? So no man be moved by these afflictions. All right, come on.
Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandments of the law.
Go ahead.
So he blessed them and was gathered to his father.
Right, so before he died, he gave them wise counsel. He gave them a speech of encouragement before he passed. Right, come on.
And he died in the 146th year, and his sons buried him in the sepulchre of his father of Modin, and all Israel made great lamentation for him.
Right, 3 and 1. First Maccabees 3 and 1.
Then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead, and all his brethren helped him, and so did all they that held with his father. And they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel.
They fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel. Go ahead.
So he got his people great honor and put on a breastplate as a giant.
So now, when you check it out, it said they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel. So it was a pleasure for them to fight for their people. They did it with cheerfulness. All right, go ahead.
And girt his warlike harness about him, and made battles, protecting the host with his sword.
Go ahead.
And his axe, he was like a lion.
Right, his axe, he was like a lion. Go ahead.
And like a lion's whelp, roaring for his prey.
Right, like a lion's whelp, roaring for his prey. Come on.
For he pursued the wicked, and sought them out, and burnt up those that vexed his people.
See that? So they fought against the enemy of their people in righteousness. All right, go ahead.
Wherefore the wicked shrunk for fear of him.
Yeah, when you read the history of Judas Maccabees, he had the heathens under pressure, man. He was no joke as a warrior for Israel. You go deep into the Second Maccabees, it goes in depth. Second Maccabees is more about exalting Judas Maccabees and his campaign, his war campaigns. When I get a chance, read Second Maccabees, it tells you how Judas was a warrior, man. He was no joke. He had them heathens under pressure, man. And that's what we're celebrating tonight, the defense of our nation. All right, so we defend our nation spiritually first by the law, statutes, and commandments, mentally by keeping them in the right spirit, and physically if necessary when the Most High gives us that power. All right, we know we can't really take out Esau without the power of the Most High. They couldn't fight the Greeks without the power of the Most High. All right, read on.
Wherefore the wicked shrunk for fear of him, and all the workers of iniquity were troubled, because salvation prospered in his hand.
See that? It said salvation prospered. Salvation is what? Like deliverance from any affliction. All right, so salvation prospered in his hand. All right, it wasn't like the Christians say you got to die and be saved. No, Judas was alive fighting for the people. And he was fighting for what? Their salvation. They was able to come back and serve the Most High. They was delivered from a state of affliction. All right, so go from there to 1 Maccabees 4:1 now. All right, the rest of 1 Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, you have to read on your own. Get the story, do you have some homework. And now we're going to jump up to 1 Maccabees 4. And we're going to read down. I'll let y'all know how far we're going to read down. 1 Maccabees 4:1. All right.
Then took Gorius 5,000 footmen and 1,000 of the best horsemen, and removed out of the camp by night. To the end he might rush upon the camp of the Jews, and smite them suddenly. And the men of the fortress were his guides. Now when Judas heard thereof, he himself removed and the violent men with him, that he might smite the king's army which was at Emrys. While as yet the forces were dispersed from the camp. In the mean season made Gorius night into the camp of Judas. And when he found no man there, he sought them in the mountains, for said he, these fellows flee from us. But as soon as it was day, Judas showed himself in the plain with 3,000 men, who nevertheless had neither armor nor sword to their minds. And then he saw the camp of the heathen, that it was strong and well harnessed, and compassed about with horsemen. And these were expert of war. Then said Judas to the men that were with him, fear ye not their multitude, neither be afraid of their assault.
So yeah, like similar to 300, you know, because they didn't have a lot of men with them compared to who they were about to fight. So yeah, Judas said that they have more people. He was basically saying, don't fear them. Go ahead.
Remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea, when Pharaoh pursued them with an army.
How much you want?
Now therefore let us cry unto heaven, and peradventure the Lord will have mercy upon us, and remember the covenant of our fathers, and destroy his host before our face this day. That so all the heathens may know that there is one who delivereth and saveth Israel. Then the strangers lift up their eyes and saw them coming over against them. Wherefore they went out of the camp to battle, but they that were with Judas sounded their trumpets. So they joined battle.
So yeah, just sounding the trumpets. You know, so that was also, you know, our way of, as we usually try, like the scriptures say, blow the trumpets, like that's also to let people know like that danger is coming, but that's what we did when we went out to war.
So they joined battle, and the heathen, being discomforted, fled into the plain. How about all the hindmost of them were slain with the sword, for they pursued them unto Gazera, and unto the plains of Idumea, and Azotus, and Jamia, so that there were slain of them upon 3,000 men. This done, Judas returned again with the host for pursuing them. He said to the people, be not greedy for the spoils, insomuch as there is a battle before us. And Gregorius and his host are here by us in the mountain. But stand ye now against our enemies, and overcome them, and after this ye may boldly take the spoils. As Judas was yet...
like just like in the Passover, how the Most High said we would get the spoils after he destroyed the Egyptians. Likewise, the same thing here. We would get the spoils. Go ahead.
As Judas was yet speaking these words, there appeared a part of them looking out of the mountain, who when they perceived that the Jews had put their host to flight, and were burning the tents, for the smoke that was seen declared that was done. Then therefore they perceived these things. They were sore afraid, and seeing also the host of Judas in the plain ready to fight. They fled every one into the land of strangers. Then Judas returned to spoil the tents, where they got much gold and silver and blue silk and purple of the sea and great riches. After this they went home and sung a
Yeah, that's the real Thanksgiving right there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, all this stuff about what happened in November, no, this is the real Thanksgiving. Every time we come together for a feast day, because pretty much a lot of our feast days have to do with us getting over on our enemies. You know what I'm saying? Like the Passover, that's the biggest one, getting over on our enemies, but this is another one. All right, so that's the real Thanksgiving, to give Most High, the praise. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was verse 36, right? 24, oh yeah, go ahead, read on.
And praise the Lord in heaven, because it is good, because his mercy endureth forever. Thus Israel had a great deliverance that day. Now all the strangers that had escaped came and told Lysias what had happened, who when he heard thereof was confronted and discouraged, because neither such things as he were done unto Israel, nor such things as the king commanded him were come to pass. The next year, therefore, following Lysias, gathered together 70,000 choice men of foot and 5,000 horsemen, that he might subdue them. So they came into Idumea and pitched their tents in Beersheba, and Judas met them with 10,000 men. And when he saw that mighty army, he prayed and said, Blessed thou art, O Savior of Israel, who didst spoil the violence of the mighty men by the hand of thy servant David, and gavest the host of strangers into the hands of Jonathan the son of Saul and his armor bearer. Shut up his army in the hand of thy people Israel, and let them be confronted in their power and horsemen. Confounded, Slakia. Make them to be of no courage, and cause the boldness of their strength to fall away, and let them quake at their destruction. Cast them down with the sword of them that love thee, and let all those that know thy name praise thee with thanksgiving. So they joined battle, and there were slain of the host of Lysias about 5,000 men. Even before them were they slain. Now when Lysias saw his army put to flight, in the manliness of Judas, our soldiers, how they were ready either to live or die violently, he went to Antiochia and gathered together a company of strangers, and having made his army greater than it was, he proposed to come again unto Judea. Then said Judas and his brethren, Behold, our enemies are discomfited. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary.
Okay, stop right there. So that 36th verse, keep that in mind. 1 Maccabees 4:36. That's going to be very important when we link it up with Daniel. Jump down to 51. 1 Maccabees 4 and 51.
Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table and spread out the boughs and finished all the works which they had begun to make. Now on the 5th and 20th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Kaslu, in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning.
Right, so now this is after they defeat Lysias and the different Greek companies of their army was trying to come and fight and defeat Judas, and he kept whooping them and sending them back. All right, so now they finally get victory, and they're like, let's go take back the temple and cleanse it and dedicate it to the Most High. Hence you get the Feast of Dedication. The word dedication, the word Hanukkah or Hanukkah in the ancient Paleo is a Hebrew word that means dedication. Okay? All right, read on.
And offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offering.
Right, so they're dedicating the temple back to the Most High by sacrificing back on the temple. Right, go ahead.
Which they
I'm
had,
on the altar, so like, go ahead.
which they had made. Look at what time and what day the heathen have profaned it, even in that which is dedicated with songs and cisterns and harps and cymbals.
Right, so that the reason why I said look at what time and what day the heathen have profaned it. Who knows why it says that? By a show of hands. Don't yell out. Verse 54, look at what time and what day the heathen have profaned it, even in that it was dedicated with songs and cisterns and harps and cymbals. Anybody know why it says that? I know. Anybody? All right, let's go back to 1 Maccabees 1, and let's start at 54. All right, 1 Maccabees 1 and 54. All right, before we read it, Mawara, why does it say that?
Because he allowed them to rededicate the temple the same day this year later.
God, say it a little louder.
He allowed them to rededicate the temple the same day, it was just years later.
God, the Most High allowed Israel to rededicate the temple back to him on the same exact day that the heathen had defiled it 3 years earlier. Okay? That's why I said, look at what time. The Most High is a mastermind. Just like the Most High allowed Trump to get impeached the day before Hanukkah. Right? The Most High got a sense of humor. Last year, it was Senior Bush dropped dead on Hanukkah. Okay? I think, yeah, it was last year. Right? The Most High got a sense of humor. All right, so he does things a lot of times in time without to coincide with our feast days and different things. He'll bring some kind of major judgment. All right, so the Most High said, here's a Hanukkah gift. Let me put a little confusion in America. Okay? All right, go ahead. 1 Maccabees 1:54.
Now the 15th day of the month of Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and built idol altars throughout the city of Judah on every side.
Yeah, because Daniel prophesied about the abomination of desolation. And it was fulfilled during the time of the Greeks, and it was fulfilled during the time of the Romans. All right, now jump down to 59. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. Read that.
Now the 5 and 20th day
The 5 and 20th day, or the 25th day, go ahead.
of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High.
See that? So they put unclean sacrifices on the altar on the 5 and 20th day of the 9th month. So the same day that they defiled the altar in the temple, 3 years later on that same day, the Most High allowed Israel to cleanse it. Okay? All right, so go back to 1 Maccabees 4 and 54. The water Mawara. See, Mawara got her notes from last year. Good. All right, 1 Maccabees 4:55 now. We read 54. Does everybody understand, okay? So the Most High, he shows off his power a lot of times. He does little things like that to show his power off. All right, to show us like, it's me in control of the whole thing. All right, go ahead. 1 Maccabees 4:55.
Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the Most High of heaven, who had given them good success.
Go ahead.
And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise.
Right, so they kept the Feast of Hanukkah, the dedication of the altar, 8 days. All right, and we celebrate the opening and the closing. The closing will be next Thursday sundown. All right, and we'll be closing out here again. All right, go ahead.
They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renewed and hanged doors upon them.
Right, so they put their spirit into it, they decorated it, and they put their spirit into it. They got the temple back looking up to par. Because when you read, everybody write down 2 Maccabees, the 6th chapter. It'll go into how they defiled the temple. The Greeks, they was, having orgies in there and sacrificing swine's flesh, and they made an altar to Jupiter, and it was just all kinds of uncleanness, man. Yeah, read that history, it'll tell you how Esau was. And how a lot of our people were going along with him. All right, go ahead.
Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 5th and 20th day of the month Taslud, with mirth and gladness.
So it said the day shall be kept with mirth and gladness, right? So as we come into this truth, like now, the time that we're about to come in, this might be your only time for enjoyment. To come amongst the family and rejoice and keep the feast days. Okay? And, we're going to have to come together on a certain level. Because they labeling us a movement, so, they're not going to say, oh, you HRI, or you this camp, or, we got so many damn camps, we done covered the alphabet. You know what I'm saying? I think we got every letter in the alphabet, some camp done got it in their name. You know what I'm saying? So, they're not going to come and say, they saying this is a movement. So like I said, you might be locked up in some terrorist prison somewhere with 50 different camps that you probably never talked to. You know what I'm saying? Because they like, we targeting all of y'all. So all this, we one big family that can't get along, man, even in the truth. All this bickering and going back and forth and non-Negro Israelites and, Negro-only Israelites, and it's just ridiculous, man. This camp doctrine, that camp doctrine, we want to do our thing over here, y'all do your thing over there, or we don't talk to them brothers, we're not affiliated with black people, Israelites. Right, then what the hell are you then? We know we're not black people, Israelites, but you know what they mean. Our people in this diaspora that's coming back to their nationality. So what do you mean you're not affiliated with that? What you affiliated with? You know what I'm saying? But I told Israel about the pettiness. We told them years ago, and brothers still want to ride with that. But Esau is like, no, there's no difference between y'all. We coming after all of y'all. See that? So brothers got to put that pride down, man. If you ain't going, all right, you have your own camp. Nobody cares about that, but be cordial. Don't be negative. Don't add, like Paul said, don't add more affliction to my bonds. I'm already catching hell from the world, the heathen, this system. Now from brothers that's supposed to be in the truth, sisters that's supposed to be in the truth, we fighting amongst each other? Then where the hell is my peace at? You know what I'm saying? You just adding to my bonds. So at least if you have your own camp, whatever, we don't talk to y'all, our doctrine, whatever, but be at peace with your brothers, man. Even Paul said that. Be at peace with all men. Now, see, we ain't affiliated with them. Esau don't want to hear that. No, you a terrorist just like him. I don't care if you say you different. Right? So that's what we got to get in our head, man. It's serious times. But I rejoice because the scripture prophesied this. That means we're getting closer to home. It's not really a time to back off, go full speed ahead with the Most High now. Okay? Especially if you've been in the game for a minute, you want to turn back now. Just strengthen your faith and get ready for the long haul. And Yahweh told us, don't fear nothing, even death. Right? He said, give your life, and I'll give you, said if you fight to the death, I'll give you a crown of life. I'll tell you that in Revelation 2 and 10. So, if you're going to give your life for anything, give it for the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Right? This truth is not a compromise. It's not, I'm going to be an Israelite and they're just going to leave me alone. And I'm not like those Israelites over there. So, don't lock me up. Don't take away my privileges because I'm not like them. So we caught a lot of flack from the MAGA incident, right? Most of y'all probably know about that now. That was basically our camp that was involved in that. We caught a lot of flack from that. We still catch flack from it, but we never hid anything. We was always the same way from the inception of us building a camp in New York back in the 90s. We was the same way. We just kept it raw. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of Israelites that was trying to disassociate themselves from us, and I got emails and inboxes and things of that nature. And you can just see, like, when some affliction come down, a lot of Israel won't fall, man. You can see that. Israel want a comfortable type truth, and that's not what this is. If you want a comfortable truth, then go, I don't know, you can't be in this truth and have it your way. Nah. So I just said, I still love my brothers or whatever. I'm not a negative brother, but I just see, man, a lot of brothers show their true colors. Like if the ish hit the fan, you gonna want to go hide somewhere, and we can't do that. Use wisdom. Using wisdom is a totally different thing. But now we get a little bit of negative media attention. Now you're going to disassociate yourself from me. I thought you was my brother. You know what I'm saying? You folded on me, Ak? What happened to all the love? What happened to feast days? We was drinking. Yo, Ak, man, I give my life for you, brother. Now, yo, Ak, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be bold in this truth, man. Bold in wisdom. Not foolish. We're not saying that. Don't be foolish, but be bold with wisdom, man.
Help that wisdom.
Right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh went to the death. And they tried to bring all kinds of false accusations against him. He told Pilate to his face, you got no power over me unless it was given from the Most High. He told that devil straight to his face. You know what I'm saying? He was in order, but he said, look, you got no power over me unless it was given to you from the Most High. So if our big brother and senior man was strong, we could be strong too. In wisdom, don't do nothing foolish, don't go out of the spirit. But if it's in this book, you justify it. Okay? All right, go ahead.
At that time also...
What verse we in?
60.
Right, go ahead.
At that time also they built up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they had done before.
Right, so they had to build garrisons around the city to protect the city and the temple. Go ahead.
And they set there a garrison to keep it and fortify Beth Shura to preserve it, that the people might have defense against Idumea.
Right, we all know Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. So go from there, go to Daniel 8:8. Let's show you the history where Hanukkah, or the Feast of Dedication, was prophesied in the Old Testament. All right. So whenever they try to corner you and say, Hanukkah is not Leviticus 23, or, I don't see that. That's not part of the set apart days. All right. You saw where the Most High prophesied it and then set it up. Daniel chapter 8, verse 8.
Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great.
Anybody know who the he-goat is? By a show of hands. In Daniel the 8th chapter. To read. Alexander, right. Come on. Go ahead.
Very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken.
Right, so the he-goat waxed great, and when he was strong, the horn was broken, meaning he was put to death. Yeah. Salaki. Huh? Okay. All right, go ahead.
The great horn was broken, and for it came up for notable ones toward the four winds of heaven.
Right, so the great horn was broken, meaning Alexander died, and came up four notable ones to the four winds of heaven, meaning his four generals that we mentioned earlier. Go ahead.
And out of one of them came forth a little horn.
That little horn is Antiochus Epiphanes, because horns here in Daniel 8 is representing kingdoms and rulerships. Go ahead.
Which waxed exceedingly great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land.
Right, because when you read about Antiochus, he wasn't satisfied with when Alexander left him. He wanted to expand his kingdom. So, of course, when it said the pleasant land, he wanted to move in on Jerusalem. So he went to the south. He tried to take Egypt from Ptolemy. And he moved throughout other lands. He was trying to expand his kingdom. He wasn't satisfied with what Alexander told him, to be a charge of. Right, go ahead.
And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the host of the stars to the ground and stumped upon them.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the magnified himself even to the prince of the host. And by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down.
He said, yeah, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away. That's what we read about in 1 Maccabees 1, how they defiled the altar. The daily sacrifice was taken away, and a host was given him. What was that host? Wicked sellout Israelites. That's what we read about in 1 Maccabees 1, 11 and 12, when they went and said, let's make a covenant with the heathen. All right, go ahead.
And a host was given him against the daily sacrifice by...
Wicked Israelites. That was the host that was given him against the daily sacrifice. Come on.
Sacrifice by reason of transgression.
By reason of Israelites that were wicked. Come on.
And it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and
prosper.
Yeah, practice and prosper.
Right. See that? So it cast down the truth to the ground, meaning the law. It cast down the laws to the ground. It wasn't popular to keep the law. Most of the people were selling out and being evil. Go ahead.
Then I heard one saint speaking, and the other saint said unto the certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot?
Come on.
And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed.
Right, so it said, how long shall the desolation be? The angels would say, how long shall this desolation be? And it said, and he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. All right, that's from the time that Antiochus came in and defiled the city until the time it was cleansed, which was about 6 years and 4 months. Now go from there. Let's go back to 1 Maccabees 4 and 36. Now remember that word in Daniel 8:14, that the sanctuary should be cleansed. All right, now let's go back to 1 Maccabees 4 and 36. Yeah, 1 Maccabees 4:36.
Then said Judas and his brethren, behold, our enemies are discomfited.
He said, our enemies are discomfited. Go ahead.
Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary.
It said, let us go up and cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary. So what were they doing? They were going up to cleanse the sanctuary pursuant to the prophecy in Daniel 8. Okay? So the only way you're going to know about the story of Hanukkah is if you got to know the prophecy in Daniel 8. Daniel 8 is the prophecy, and the fulfillment is in the book of Maccabees. Because that was the Greek kingdom, and bridging that gap between the Old Testament and the New Testament. So it's Malachi, Maccabees, then Matthew. And you get your Persian Medo kingdom, your Greek kingdom, and then your Roman kingdom when Yahushua comes on the scene. So it's bridging the gap. All the history is there. So if you want to say, well, Hanukkah is not Leviticus 23, but it's prophesied, where does it say that the altar would be cleansed and dedicated? Right here in Daniel 8. Everybody understand? All right, so that's the history on it. Now go to St. John 10. St. John 10, and let's start at 19.
The book of St. John, chapter 10, verse 19.
Shalaki, let everybody get it? Everybody have it? St. John? St. John 10 and 19.
There was a division, therefore, again among the Jews for these sayings.
Right, so it said there was a division amongst the Jews for these sayings. All right, go ahead.
And many of them said, he hath a devil.
See that? Same thing. They said Yahushua had the devil, he was wicked, he's a terrorist. You know what I'm saying? They call him, how they say it? They call him everything but a child of God. All right? They say he have a devil. Right? How you going to say the Son of Man have the devil in him? Don't they say that about us, though? All right? Because why? We teaching the truth. So Yahushua said what? If they hate you, you know they hated me before they hated you. Right? You surely going to drink of my cup. All right, go ahead.
He have a devil and is
He
mad.
said, listen, he's a madman. He said, you guys sound crazy. You're out there teaching hate. Right? What are you guys talking about? You're madmen. All right, go ahead.
Why hear ye him?
He said, why y'all listening to these guys? We don't listen to them guys. Them guys teach hate. They want to kill people. They sound violent. Same thing they said about the Messiah. So that's why he said in St. John 7, the world cannot hate you, but they hate me because I testify that the works thereof are evil. All right, come on.
Others said, these are not the words of him that have a devil.
Others said, these are not the words of him that got a devil. Right? He's speaking in the spirit. Same thing now. We love but hate it. You see, Israel has grown on a mass level. Like you see the people on the comment boards when we're doing, oh, love you brothers, keep teaching the word, oh, you woke me up. So you have the people that say these guys are the devil. You got the news media and certain simpletons that's going to believe that. Oh, these guys are crazy, they're the devil. Look, they want to shoot people in New Jersey. They're terrorists, domestic terrorism. Then you got the people that say, no, man, these guys woke me up. These guys saved my life. I was out there banging or killing or selling drugs or whoremongering or just running around being crazy. And I heard this, man, I changed my whole life. My life came together. So the same thing they were saying back then. He got a devil. Some said, no, those not the words of the devil. So the same thing you want. You're going to get the hate and the love. All right, go ahead.
Can a devil open the eyes of the blind?
Can the devil open the eyes of the blind? Physically heal the blind and spiritually open the eyes of somebody that's spiritually blind. Can a devil, a man that's a demon, can he do that? Go ahead.
And it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of Dedication.
Right, so what's the Feast of Dedication by show of hands? Every hand should be up. Good. You shy, help him out. Hanukkah, God. The word Hanukkah is a Hebrew word that means dedication, or Hanukkah in the ancient pagan. Okay? So now we jump start to the time of Yahushua HaMashiach, which is about maybe 200 years later. Because the first Hanukkah took place, most scholars say circa 165 or 164 BC. It was either one or two of those years. But now we go into the time of Yahushua, all right, which is maybe almost 200 years later. And it says it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of the Dedication, meaning what? From the time of the Maccabees, every year, this feast was on the calendar of the Hebrews, and we kept it. Okay? So it wasn't in Leviticus 23, but 200 years later, by the time of Yahushua, it's part of the Hebrew calendar as our feast. All right, go ahead.
And it was winter.
And it was winter, right? Not that cold in Cali, but other places. We're in a cold season when this feast day comes. Go ahead.
And Yahushua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Then came the Jews around about him, and said unto him, how long doest thou make us to doubt? If thou be the Christ, tell us plainly.
All right, so it said, if thou be the Christ, tell us plainly. Go ahead.
Yahushua answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me.
So Yahushua said, look, my works is bear witness. My Father's name is bear witness in my works. Go ahead.
But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep.
There you go. The people don't believe because they're not of Yahushua's sheep. They're not chosen. You see, some of them said he had a devil. Some of them said, no, it's not the words of the devil. All right, go ahead.
As I said unto you, my sheep hear my
He
voice.
said, my sheep hear my voice. Come on.
And I know them.
And I know my sheep. Go ahead.
And they follow me.
And they what?
And they follow me.
Right, so that's why everybody's not going to follow this truth. They're not going to follow this word. Because they're not of Yahushua's sheep. Some going to say you got the devil. Some going to say those can't be the words of the devil. Those are words of a righteous man. Go ahead.
And I give unto them eternal life,
He said, I give unto my sheep eternal life. Good.
and they shall never perish.
And they shall what?
Never
And
perish.
they shall never perish. Come on.
Neither shall any man pluck them out of my
He
hand.
said, listen, no man is going to pluck them out of my hand. So don't worry about these false terrorism accusations. You know, Trump being impeached, there's supposed to be a riot and a race war now, or Edomites supposed to riot, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, don't fear anything because the Most High got our back. Okay? So you brothers and sisters, study, man. Read your Maccabees over these 8 days. This Hanukkah season is very, very important this year. It's important every year. But the times we living in is definitely coinciding with what's going on and what went on in this Maccabean story. We didn't even touch on half the details of what really went down. But the gist of the story is suffering for righteousness' sake. Willing to give your life, willing to go to war, willing to fight. Even when you're being falsely accused, when they're coming against you. That's all what was going on during the time of the Greeks. And the Maccabees fought, our great Levite brothers and ancestors fought, and they whooped the Greeks, they took back the temple, and they went back and praised the Most High. Okay? Because they knew that's where the power is at. That's where they out there now, that's where they demonizing us now. Because they know we done tap back into that power source. They know we not celebrating their wicked holidays no more. They know we keeping our money in our pocket during Christmas season. All right? Or I'll spend it for Hanukkah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to spend it for that. All right? And more likely than not, you're going to spend less. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not getting a bunch of gifts from people that don't like you anyway. You know what I'm saying? Family members you hardly ever see. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's putting a dent in they system. A brother sent me an article where they said that they have the corporations are upset because Israel has had such a presence on social media, it's affecting people's buying habits. So where normally people would be purchasing certain things online, they see a decline in that. Because what? Everybody is not coming into this door to keep the Feast of Hanukkah tonight, but they out there watching. And they being influenced. And they're like, you know what? I'm watching the brothers, you know what? I'm not going to order that such and such no more. That's unclean. So they said it's affecting their Esau's bottom line. So what they did, they said, we're going to send out these corporations they're going to hire teams of people to monitor Israel's activity on the internet and sabotage. So that's why y'all see a lot of our YouTube channels and stuff disappearing and shutting down. They got teams of people that these corporations are hiring to try to come and sabotage the truth because it's affecting their bottom line. It's putting a dent in their money making. Yeah, brothers, so I'm going to look that article up and bring it out on a lesson or something. But that's what's going on. So this truth is hitting more than what we think. Okay? So they're taking desperate measures. All right? They shot up a Jewish kosher store. They killed the cop. All this nonsense, man. All right? But no man should be moved by these afflictions. Okay? All right.
So like, you notice how Esau gets down, they try to assassinate someone's character through the media.
Yeah,
That's kind of what they're trying to do to us.
Fine.
Because if you think about it, the only thing we was doing was reading scripture, and we were on the Southern Poverty Law Center's terrorists.
Right.
They have an event they can go to say, see, the terrorists, they did an act. But,
Right.
you know, we still just read the Bible at the end of the day.
Right. And no matter how rough we preach on the street, the roughest teacher you can point out in Israel, you can't find no record of a brother going to blow nothing up. You can't find no record of a brother killing a cop. You can't find no secret meeting of a brother saying, let's start this Israelite terrorist organization. We're going to blow up government land. You can take the hardest teaching brother you know in Israel, man. And they ain't got nothing on their record when they committed no attack against Esau. They know. See, the thing about that whole thing, I brought that out on that live I did. The thing about that whole incident was, it wasn't really to try to show that nobody was affiliated with Israel. And they know that already. But it's to put that in the minds of people. The media and the powers that be, they know that already because they investigate us. They know we not committing, though. If they watching brothers hard enough, we go to camp and go to hell home. Get some wine and chill, you know what I'm saying? Chill with our wives and children or brothers. Yo, we had a good camp, let's go out and eat and chill. Brothers ain't having camp and then go blow up a federal building. So they know that already. But the key is to demonize us to the people. Because they know the people are simple. And they know the people, like they tell you in Proverbs, the simple believe every word. I saw them Israelites on the news. They believe in committing terrorist attacks. Stay away from them. So they know they got the minds of the people. They know damn well the average. We know how many of us would be locked up if we was just committing all kinds of terror attacks. There'd be 1,000, 10,000 brothers locked up. But for years they know we've been out there teaching and nothing's been done in Esau's kingdom. Right? But they know the power of the Most High's word. So they got to demonize it so it can't be done anymore. Because we're waking the people up spiritually. And even Malcolm X told us the best weapon against Esau is the truth. So you just chase him down the block with the truth. You know, so let's be mindful of that. I just want to encourage everybody tonight, and you know, don't let the spirit of fear come in you. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, walk in wisdom. You know, nowadays you got your fringes and stuff on. You ain't got to be all scary, but you know, walk with wisdom and you know, pay attention to your surroundings and just be mindful. You know, because they trying to demonize Israel now. All we doing is minding our business and trying to serve our Father. All right? Bring it out.
Yeah, and that Southern Poverty Law Center is a joke.
Yeah.
The co-founder of it, he's a proven racist. He was.
Yeah, Priest Daniel exposed him,
Yeah,
man.
they brought that
Yeah.
up. The co-founder of it is a proven racist. He was kicked off his own board.
Yeah.
Because of the things he was doing, he was just doing all types of atrocities. And how can a racist say that someone else is racist? I mean, how can a racist make a list of people who are committing hate crimes when they are hateful themselves?
Right.
So like, only because they got a board of lawyers or this, that, and the other is why like simple Jakes or Eves really believe, oh, that Southern Poverty Law Center, they put Israelites on their list.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a joke, but our people don't really know that. Just because it's called the Southern Poverty Law Center,
Right.
our people look at it, you know, the people who are simple, they look at it and they say, hey, that must mean something.
Right.
They don't even know, they haven't done any research, don't even
No
know.
research.
It's a joke.
Right.
It's a joke.
And but my thing is, man, brothers and sisters, stay strong, man. And you know, let's get ready to look out for each other, have each other back. You know, I don't care where you live, where you at, whatever. Always think in the mind of an Israelite brother or sister that have your nation's back. You never know. Be in a state somewhere, Esau try to come at you, whatever. You got to call on a brother, call on a sister, you know. So let's get in that mind frame now, because they're not going to discriminate when they come against us. All right? Brother?
I'm seeing it now in the study. It's parallel to Esau's behavior, just hasn't changed. It's parallel to what they were doing with the temple.
Right.
You know, with our culture and all. They transfer that to Christianity,
Right.
Catholicism. So the perversion, the profanities, and all these different things they brought into the name of Christ and perverted, made this Christian religion perverting the truth and having our people caught up in Christianity. And now, just like the Maccabees, it's up to us to come back to go ahead and fight this fight and rededicate and bring our people back to the truth. I'm seeing that same play, that same parallel happening right now, right before our eyes. That, you know, in this Roman time, that once again we got to clean it up because they got, you know, perverted the truth and did the same thing that their, you know, forefathers and their descendants did back during the times of the Greeks and the Roman Empire. So their behavior hasn't changed. Whenever they come in contact with the truth, they perverted, they profaned it, and our people caught up. You know? So that's the trick, to see it manifest itself in that. But this is the duty that we have, and I also see that this is an opportunity for us to rededicate ourselves with respect to the dedication for the matter of truth, to rededicate, and so that we can do what we need to do for the Most High.
All right. All right. Right, this should bring you closer
Yes.
to the Most High. All right. Don't flee. It should bring you closer. This is time for us to really, show the Most High what we all about.
God.
All right. Remember in the Apocrypha, 2 Ezra 16, it said, "Then shall it be known whom I chosen are." All right. After we done went through all this hell and affliction and stayed the course, the Most High said, when the smoke clears, then you're gonna know who's my chosen. All right.
God.
You gotta just buckle down, like the brother said. That's why this feast of dedication is so important, because it's a chance to dedicate ourselves back to the Most High, and it's right in line with the time we live in. And our ancestors fought that good fight, so we should this feast, this time should motivate us. Meditate on these 8 days and all days, and this time should motivate us back to the Most High even more. Okay? It's not
Like the scripture says that, we have to endure to the end. Saying this endurance is like, you can equivalent it to sports. Saying you don't get good unless you get that endurance up. Saying you have to, it's going to be trial by fire. Saying you can't back away because it's going to get hard. Saying I can see it getting tougher for true Israelites is really down for this truth. So you can see people backing away that you thought, like the brother said, that you thought was down for it, and you see them turn away. You might get weary yourself, like, oh man, I thought you was down, but we gotta be 10 toes down this truth. And and we have to endure. When it says endure, it means tough, dig deep, keep going. You go 10 yards, you gotta go 10 more yards. So, and that's where we are right now, and we're being demonized in the media, and it might get worse, it might not, it might be a little scared, they might kind of test us a little bit, they might back away, because they know they can't get no one, they know that we are truly just speaking the Bible, and we ain't trying to be no terrorists, we ain't trying to rob nobody, they have little videos of people vandalizing stuff, vandalizing cars, and they're trying to tie that to us, like, you serious? And they caught the people on camera. You clearly see it was Edomites. So that's what they're doing now. Edomites doing vandalism, and they're trying to tie it to us. Like, come on. You're trying it, and you're doing too much, and it ain't going to work. So we're just going to keep doing what we got to do with the Most High help, and we're going to keep getting this word out and moving forward.
Okay. Everybody understand? So let's close out with Isaiah 54 and 16. Isaiah 54 and 16. So don't worry, Israel. Like the brother said, this thing might die down, and then they try it again in a couple of years. This ain't the first rodeo. It's not. They tried to tie brothers in with 9/11. When 9/11 happened, they tried to get some connection, but it didn't work. It faded out. So, everything is on the time frame of the Most High also. But either way, stay the course. All right, endure to the end. He that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. All right, Isaiah 54:16.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire.
Get right to the point, 17.
No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper.
The Most High said, no weapon formed against Israel shall prosper. Go ahead.
And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn.
Right, every tongue that try to speak against this truth, we're going to condemn them. Because they just going to be lying. All right, go ahead.
This is the heritage of the servants of the Most High, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Most High.
So there you go. This is the heritage of the Most High's servants, and our righteousness is of him. So no weapon that is formed. There ain't no weapon, no speak against you, no. Because all you're doing is saying, thus saith the Lord, and following thus saith the Lord. That's why Revelation 12:17 said what? They're going to come against those that keep the commandments and have the testimony. Because all we're doing is teaching the gospel and following the gospel. That's it. Trying to live right according to the Most High laws. And that's like a World War IV to Esau. Because the whole thing was to keep Israel destroyed. That's why it said Antiochus, he went to all those, the south here and there, and then to the pleasant land. He said, I gotta go and conquer them Israelites. All right, when, for the most part, we was always minding our business. Even during the time of Esther and during Purim. What happened? What's the heathen? Haman wanted to come and just destroy Israel. We minded our business trying to keep the commandment. We ain't bothering nobody. Even the Persian king saw it. He went along with Haman at first, but then Esther, she did that thing and was like, nah, this is my people. And they was like, no, they're not doing nothing wrong. They just trying to serve their God. Same thing. So it's nothing but that's how we know we're in the right walk. Because the Most High showed different examples of the same thing. Okay? Right? We came out of Egypt, but we want to go into the promised land and serve the Most High. Right? Man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all want to stay back in Egypt? Y'all stay. We trying to go serve our power. Here come the Egyptians. They want to come pursue us. Y'all leave us alone. All right? So, you can never just mind our business and keep the Most High's commandments. That's too much of a danger to any empire, especially Esau. All right? All right, so I hope y'all enjoyed the lesson. I'll praise the Most High. All right, so Most High will next week we'll be here closing out. So if y'all brothers and sisters are welcome, we'll give out a flyer to remind y'all. Some of the family that wasn't able to make it tonight will probably turn out because it's after that pagan Christmas. So, a lot of people are better off situated after work and everything. So we're going to close out in prayer. All right, and get into the serving and the festivities. Any questions or comments before we do the prayer? Y'all ready to get to that food and wine? All right, so the brother's going to blow the shofar. Wait, we'll tell y'all when to rise. Hold on. Next week will be the closing. You brothers and sisters are welcome to come out. Hopefully things are a little bit better than tonight. We experienced some technical difficulties, but we still made it work. Good. All right. Try to do business with your own, but that's a whole other conversation. But, so hope everybody enjoyed the lesson. Like we said, if you learned one thing tonight, we've done our job. Go home and study, read the Maccabees on your own. Read the history and, get deeper into it. It's 8 days of you can just study about the Maccabean history and get a better understanding. All right? So next year, maybe y'all can be up here doing the lesson, especially some of you brothers. All right? So always keep that in mind, man. It's about learning this word, Always sharpen up your sword and give thanks and praise to the Most High for his word. That's your strength. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. All right, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. That's cut and dry. Okay? All right, so blow the shofar one more time. We're going to close in prayer. stand and face Jerusalem. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that gives us the fruit of the vine. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ahawa'ah.
Alaa.
Adonanawa.
Adonanawa.
Koya.
Koya.
Agapan.
Agapan.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Mashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahabashah.
Yahabashah.
Wada.
Wada.
Yad.
Yad.
Olam.
Olam.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
La Yahweh.
Yahweh.
La Yahushai.
Yahushai.
La Yasha'ala.
La Sha'ala.
La.
La.
Kanaka.
Kanaka.
Dum.
Dum.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Blood of Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Four corners and Shemaiahs. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Mashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Raknawa.
Rakadawa.
Yasha'ala.
Yakishala.
Habiyah Sapoyim.
I can say Koil.
Shema.
Shema.
Yasharala.
Yashala. Yahweh. Ayahayam. Yahweh. Yahweh. Shema. Yashala. Yahweh. Ayahayam. Yahweh. Yahweh. Shema. Yashawala. Yahweh. Ayahayam. Yahweh. Yahweh. Shema. Yashala. Yahweh. Ayahayam. Yahweh.
Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, power, Yahweh is one. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Blessed O Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua, please bless Israel throughout the four corners of the earth, all the schools, camps, congregations that are sincere in Yahushua. Bless all of us as a family and a nation. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua, Hallelujah.
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 Sisters, come up for anointing. All the sisters come up. That's everybody. All right, yeah, just make a line and then jump up. That's all the sisters. All right, so we're gonna do the anointing prayer, number 6, 22 to 27. The general blessing and prayer that the Most High gave to Aaron and to bestow upon the children of Israel. We do this each feast day so that when you come into the feast day, not only are you getting the spiritual word, you're getting the food and the feasting, but you're getting the blessing also. All right? All right, number 6, 22 to 27 means Makazah and Karash is going to say it in the Hebrew. When we finish, we're going to go from right to left. Your sister say your name 3 times. We're going to repeat it. and bestow the blessing of the Most High upon you. Alright? Alright. Karash Makazar, repeat after me. Yabaraki Yahweh. By Shemakar. Ya'al Yahweh. Pan Yahweh. Ayakar. Wayakhankar. Yasha'al Yahweh. Pan Yahweh. Ayakar. Wayashamnakar. Shalom. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Hamashiach. Yahushua. Baruch Shema. Nawa. Aita. Shalak. Ma'ikala. Malachim. La. Shema'ayel, Barak, Rapal, Aizar, Magun, Kazak, Atazayah, Kwawa, Imani,
Mizar,
Mawara, Estella, Rashida, Zamora, Zanai, Zakara, Christina, Joy, Jackie, Alea, Tanisha, Princess, Cole, Akim, Akwafim, Cole, Bunyan, Yasha'ala, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, the water, Alam, Blessings. We gotta get y'all clothes. Try to make 1 or 2 lines in the front so you can get anointed.
Jeremiah, get up.
All right, just. Come on, brother, don't be shy.
Just come with the food.
Same thing, anointing prayer, number 6, 22 to 27. Go from right to left. Finish the prayer, say your name 3 times, and repeat it. Put the blessing of Israel upon it. Hallelujah. Ya Baraki Hawa, Ya Shemaka, Ya Ayahawa, Panyawa, Ayaka, Ya Chanka, Ya Shaayahawa, Panyawa, Ayaka, Ya Shemaka, Shalom, Yahweh, Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, Yahushua, Shemai, Nawa, Aita, Shalak, Ma'ala, Malachim, La, Shema'el, Barak, Paul, Isaiah, Gun, Kazak, Natasiyah, Wawa,
Marcus,
Marcus,
Naquam,
Sakar,
Tariq.
Look, the one back. The one.
what's the little man?
Oh, little man, yeah.
Asaya,
James.
James,
Shia.
Shia,
Shia.
Tariq, Yeshaya,
Rob Judah.
Josiah, Jeremiah,
Malik Zakaria.
Malik Zakaria, Ibar, Virgo, Zakari, Yashua,
Harrell.
Harrell,
Craig.
Craig, Terry Judah, Jeffrey,
Kahari.
Jamin, Makazah, Karash, Ko, Akim, Akwafim, Ko, Bunyam, Yasha'ala, Ba'ashem, Salakia, all the brothers and sisters on the live feed, all of Israel, Salakia, Zabak, Ko, Akim, Ko, Akwafim, all the brothers and sisters on the live, all of Israel throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Hallelujah. Hashem. Hamashiach. Yahushua. The water. Hallelujah. Amen. Hallelujah. Everybody stand, face the east again. Pray for the food and the drink. Hallelujah. Yahweh. Hashem. Mashiach. Yahushua. Barak. Nawa. Kanakah. Wa. Shabbat. Wa. Ma'akol. Wa. Shaddai. Wa. Yayan. Wa. Kazak. Shaddai. Barak. Nawa. Kanakah. Wa. Shabbat. Wa. Rum. Yawam. Hashem. Hamashiach. Yahushua. Water. Avalon. Sisters, stay standing. Brothers, face the sisters. Salute our sisters. Repeat after me if you're unfamiliar with it. Akim Yasha'ala, brothers of Israel. Amajim? No. Barak? Chest. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Shamar,
Shamar,
Hatan.
Adon.
Sisters, put your hand over your chest. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Shamar,
Shamar,
Hatan.
Adon.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Sisters, be seated. Brothers, turn. Salute each other. Hold on, Salaki. When I say, no, we're going to do it in a circle. When I say Amajah, you snap to attention. When I say Barak, you hold your chest. Then we do the salute. Akim Yasha'ala, brothers of Israel. Amajah. Barak. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Mashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Barakatam.
Barakatam.
Kom Yashah.
Kom Yashah.
Kom Yashah.
Kom Yashah.
Kom Yashah.
Kom Yashah. We got next. We got next. We got next. Forever. 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 Take the kingdom. Take the kingdom. Take the kingdom. Now. 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 Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai. Kom Yashah.
Hanukkah 2019. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Once again, the closing will be here next Thursday night, same time, same channel. Make sure you get a flyer from me, a reminder before y'all leave. We got some flyers. Next Wednesday is the new moon, 10th month, but we're going to keep that at home. We probably just go live or something, so look out for that. And then Thursday night, we'll incorporate the new moon with the closing of Hanukkah. All right, everybody eat, drink, be merry, be mindful. There's other people here. Plenty of food and drink for everybody. If there's food left over, you'll be more than welcome to take it. I can't take all that stuff home. And I don't like for it to go to waste, so take it, leave me some, but and make sure if you go back for more, make sure everybody ate first. Okay? Salakia, hold on. Anybody have any donations? We feel free to bring them up to help with course and next week's course. All praise to the Most High. We definitely use it. Good? All right, everything costs money in this kingdom. So, if you have any support, you can bring it up before you eat. Everybody eat, drink, and be merry. In moderation, of course. Go to shop.
You guys have a cash out?
We'll take care of that. We'll take care of that. All right, go to shop.
Go to shop. All right. I got some of them for not eBay. What's the other one? Amazon. Yeah, just go to Amazon. They got all the Hebrews and stuff. Yeah, Amazon is where I got it from. Yeah, I got it here. I plugged it in. I thought you guys were gonna use it.
I didn't think about it till the last scripture.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it till the last scripture.
I'm not live. You want to close it out?
HOI to the chariots fly, hallelujah. Happy Hanukkah 2019. All praise to Yahweh, Yahushai. I hope y'all enjoyed the live lesson. We went light this year, but we'll come back with some more for y'all next week.
Okay.
Most I willing. Go
Yashar.
Subscribe to HOI Sin City and LA for the upcoming video. For the upcoming video. Go Yashar.
All right.